Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and Nobody in Kansas City has sports like 96.5 The Fan.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas City, a 3-yard touchdown pass in overtime. Kansas City wins the game.
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you guys on this wonderful, wonderful Monday. I am in a call-taking mood today. I am in a great mood, a fantastic mood. I mean, I feel like it's been a while since we've been able to raise our hands. Raise your hand if your favorite college football team won this past weekend. I can raise my hand. I'm looking over at Willie Wildcat. His hand is up. Rob, why is your hand not up? Did I miss something? You guys lost in front of a sold-out crowd against Cincinnati? Okay. I don't know what it's like to watch my college football team lose on a Saturday. That's just not a feeling that I know what it's like. I know Wildcat fans, that's a feeling you guys know very well. KU, you guys obviously know that as well. That's just not something that I'm accustomed to. So it's a little weird whenever we play this game. Raise your hand. I'm the only one with my hand up in the air, but I guess that's okay. Coming up momentarily, we'll talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Really happy that you guys are here. We only have one guest today, Mitch Holtus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. He is going to join me in studio coming up in 2 hours at 4 o'clock. He can also raise his hand because his favorite college football team won this weekend. We are going to have a lot of fun. Before we do that, I need you guys to do a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. I also need you to tell 2 friends to listen to the show. Yes, I'm being greedy this week. I need you to tell 2 people to listen to the show. And number 3, and might be most important, I need you to go stop by the other place with 5 area locations. We got 2 games on Monday night today. So if you're looking for a place after work to stop by, grab a drink, you want to catch some Monday Night Football, a fantastic place to do that is with our friends over at the other place. I don't think that I have ever uttered these words before on this platform. I'm not one to call out the effort that professional athletes give. I understand that their job is very physically demanding. It's very taxing. It's very, very difficult. And it is hard for us to put ourselves in their place. But it is my job to give you my opinion. It is my job to tell you guys how I feel. I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs made the Baltimore Ravens quit yesterday, and I thought the biggest quitter of all of them was their starting quarterback, Lamar Jackson. So they showed the play. Lamar gets tackled. Lamar goes down to the ground. Now, Lamar gets up very, very quickly. And after throwing an interception to Chenal, after having another fumble that was caused by one of his own offensive linemen, after getting just absolutely beat around in every single phase of football yesterday, they got beat offensively, they got beat on defense, they got beat on special teams, they got beat and dominated in a way that the Chiefs haven't done to a team in 2 years. It looked to me like Lamar Jackson got up and said, "Nah, I'm good for the day." Maybe you guys think I'm wrong. Maybe you think I'm out of pocket by calling it. I saw Lamar Jackson quit yesterday in front of everybody. I saw a quarterback who wanted nothing more with that Kansas City defense, wanted nothing more to do with your noise at the stadium. I saw a quarterback that was ready to do anything else other than play football. We've seen Patrick Mahomes, right? We've seen Patrick Mahomes, when he's had an injury, look like he's ready to fight Andy Reid to stay in the game. I saw a quarterback that when they told him he had a little bit of a hamstring injury, seemed perfectly fine, like, all right, man, you're right. You got it. At least go in the back and get some fake treatment. Make me feel like you want to come back into the game. Lamar was sitting off by himself, pouting in the fourth quarter of the game. Chiefs fans, you did that. Chiefs defense, you did that. You grounded Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense into submission. They didn't want to play anymore. They had no interest in continuing the fight. Embarrassing effort from the Baltimore Ravens. Maybe you disagree, but that's what I saw. I saw a Ravens team that flat out quit in front of everybody. Now, from the Kansas City perspective, and this is very, very important in my mind, if you have been somebody who has held on to the belief that this offense is about to transform once everybody gets healthy, that everybody was overreacting, and that once Patrick Mahomes got his full complement of weapons, that you were going to see the real version of the Kansas City Chiefs, you got a glimpse into the future on Sunday afternoon. Almost everything the Chiefs did on offense worked. The Chiefs ran the football effectively. We'll talk more about this, but I think you started to see the roles start to take shape for this running back room. We were clamoring last week for you to get Bashard Smith into the offense. You drafted him to be that C.J. Spiller, Jerick McKinnon, Samaje Perine roll out of the backfield. They utilized it. He looked like he was ready for it. They figured out how Kareem Hunt fits into this offense. They figured out what Isaiah Pacheco can do. So in some ways, I left encouraged by the running back room, and that's the first time I felt encouraged about the Chiefs running back room in probably 6 months. There's not been a lot of times over the last 6 months that I left thinking, you know what, they might be all right. I left Sunday thinking that the Chiefs running back room has a chance of being all right. So we saw the running back room take shape. I have been telling you guys this for weeks, and it's not like I have uncovered something that you couldn't have figured out. Explosive plays come from explosive players. They didn't really have many explosive players in their offense. They got one of them back. In fact, they got their best offensive player back from last season, and you could instantly see what his role is in this offense and how he transformed the Chiefs' offense. He had 3 plays that went over 20 yards. He was their leading rusher in the game. In the pass game, you saw him run a route and just get – they don't have anybody like that on their team aside from he and Rashee Rice. The offensive line, bang-up job, A+. That's the best version of Kingsley Suamataia that we've seen. If you had Jawan Taylor penalty as the free space on bingo, you didn't hit in this game. Jawan Taylor played a clean game. Josh Simmons played a clean game. The Chiefs' offensive line did exactly what they were supposed to do, and they dominated the Ravens' defensive line. The Chiefs' offense gets an A+ for how they perform. If you have been holding on, and for good reason, but if you have been holding on to the just wait until the Chiefs get healthy, it was a glimpse into what their offense can look like coming up in a couple of weeks. This team did it. A shaky start, but we talked about how big of a swing game that this was going to be for Kansas City. There is a major difference in being 2-2 and being 1-3. And now you head into October 2-2. You got Xavier Worthy back. You have added Bashard Smith into your offense. You feel like you know what Tyquan Thornton can do for this team. And you got 2 more games without Rashee Rice. And you can start to ramp up into the Buffalo game, ramp up into the second half of the season, and transform this offense in a way that they haven't been able to get to because of the injuries. They have never had a wide receiver room. I guess they haven't in the last 2 years had a wide receiver room that looks like they could have heading into week 7 of the NFL season, where you got Xavier Worthy as one of the better young receivers in the league. You get back Rashee Rice, Tyquan Thornton settling in as your third option. You've got a couple of options out of the backfield who can catch the football tight end wise. There is some hope. There is some light at the end of the tunnel for the Kansas City Chiefs offense. So we can take your phone calls today, 913-586-7965. We can read your text. I'm in a great mood. Rob is in a great mood. There's no reason for anybody to be in a bad mood today. That is as dominant, that is as complete of an effort that you have seen from the Kansas City Chiefs since Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift started dating. The Chiefs dominated the Ravens in almost every single aspect of the game. Offensively, defensively, special teams, there is not a single area in which I think the Ravens looked adequate. There is not a single place that I thought the Ravens looked competitive with Kansas City in this matchup. There's a lot of conversations that need to be had about Kansas City and if they're turning the corner. There's also a lot of conversations that we need to have about the Baltimore Ravens, and are we sure that that team is making the postseason? We'll have that conversation coming up on the other side, because there are two teams that yesterday's Ravens team reminded me of. I'll tell you who they are. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
This is Wyatt Thompson from K-State, and you're listening to The Drive with CDOT right here on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
At Busey, banking is about more than numbers. It's about relationships. For over 150 years, we've been helping individuals, families, and businesses reach their goals with personalized service and local decision-making. Whether you're opening your first account or planning your next big move, we're here with the tools and support to help you move forward with confidence. Busey Bank, your partner for life's moments, both big and small. Member FDIC.
$100,000 is up for grabs only at Harrah's Kansas City. With 3 ways to win, you could score major prizes. 1. Each day through October 4th, earn to swipe your Caesars Rewards card at a BattleBucks kiosk to instantly win up to $100,000 cash. 2. Collect targets and sink a ship worth up to $1,000 free play. 3. Join us October 4th for drawings with a grand prize of $50,000 cash at Harrah's Kansas City. Visit our website for full details. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com. Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit TrimFireRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Nancy Cartwright. You may know me better as the voice of Bart Simpson. On Simpsons Declassified, we're diving into the mysteries that keep the Simpsons forever young. Have you ever wondered how the Simpsons regularly predicts future events? Who better to ask than the show's creators, performers, and writers, the celebrity guests? Be sure to follow and listen to Simpsons Declassified wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Our Monday football coverage is brought to you by Busey Bank, where they are focused on your success. At Busey Bank, they've been building business and growing wealth since 1868. Learn more at BuseyBank.com. I want to read this text to you guys, actually a couple of texts, and then I want to tell you who the Ravens remind me of. The first text is, CDOT, the Chiefs were a Butker missed field goal away from putting a 40-burger on a Super Bowl contending team. This offense is back and humming. That's one text. Somebody else then mentioned, when are you going to bring up the injuries to the Ravens? We got 4 hours. We got a lot of time to talk about all of those things. I in no way want to diminish what the Chiefs did on offense yesterday, but at some point, we are going to have to discuss the injuries that the Ravens currently have on their defense. Now, there is a phrase in here that I want to go back to. The Chiefs were a Butker missed field goal away from putting a 40-burger on a Super Bowl contending team. I'm here telling you right now that that's not what the Ravens are. That's what the Ravens used to be. That is not what the Ravens are right now. We have just watched a month of games from the Super Bowl contending team you are alluding to. They lost every game to a team that is in that conversation and gave up at least 35 points in all of those games. That is not a team that could win the Super Bowl. That defense yesterday was bad. Rob reminded me of this when I came into the office today. He said, one of the points you made last week were that people were discussing the Ravens defense like it was the Cowboys defense. They are the Cowboys defense. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't, Rob. It was like Rob tried to stump me. No, you're right. That did look like the Cowboys defense. That defense was leaky yesterday, and the Chiefs absolutely exploited the Ravens defense at every single turn. The Chiefs had a chance to score on every single drive until the midpoint in the fourth quarter. Every single drive. Every single drive. So they executed offensively about as well as you could yesterday, and the Ravens simultaneously play defense about as poorly as you could yesterday. These are the two teams that I want to throw out to you guys that the Ravens kind of remind me of. I was thinking this as I was driving in. What if the Ravens are this year's version of the San Francisco 49ers? You guys remember last year for San Francisco? Man, everybody just got hurt. Like, I want to play for you this audio from Ian Rappaport. I mean, the Ravens right now are incredibly wounded right now. Listen to this list of guys that are out or injured. This is from Ian Rappaport.
Lamar Jackson was knocked out of that game with a hamstring injury. He's going to have tests today just to determine the severity of this injury, but that is why Cooper Rush was in the game. That is why Lamar Jackson spent the balance of the game on the sideline. John Harbaugh saying this injury and all of the other injuries, which there are more, I'll get to that in a second, none of them are season-ending. They do not seem like any are significant, but certainly you have a player who has a hamstring injury, could potentially miss time. Roquan Smith, their star linebacker, another player knocked out with a hamstring injury. He also is going to have tests today. As important as Lamar is to the offense, Roquan is to the defense. Marlon Humphrey, their star corner, he was knocked out, eventually ruled out with a calf injury. That's another one to watch, another MRI coming. And then Ronnie Stanley, their star tackle, he left with an ankle injury. So, like, you talk about Hunger Games, there was a lot.
I mean, looking at the Ravens and the list of players that are currently missing, tell me this doesn't sound like last year's San Francisco 49ers. The Niners really at no point had Christian McCaffrey, who is their best offensive player. They missed Trent Williams for a portion of last season. That's why Jalen Moore got the opportunity to start. So we're talking about maybe the best left tackle in the National Football League missed a substantial amount of time. And we can go up and down the list of injuries. They lost Deebo Samuel last year for a period. They lost Brandon Ayuk last year for a period. And the Niners ended up being a team that went from overtime in the Super Bowl to outright missing the postseason. That doesn't feel like the Ravens right now. Do you have enough of healthy, available star players to carry this thing out? Are you yourself a playoff team? Because the Ravens that just played the Kansas City Chiefs, that is not a playoff contending team. That is not a Super Bowl contending team. That is a team that, A, I don't think is healthy enough to be able to make the postseason, and their defense is not good enough. You are going to lose a lot of coin flip games because the other team has the ball last, and you just can't get off the field. They couldn't get off the field at all yesterday. So that's one team, Rob, that I was thinking of that just hit me. Maybe the Ravens are this year's version of the San Francisco 49ers. At the beginning of the year, we all know that this is a possibility. There's going to be 4 to 6 teams that made the playoffs in 2024 that are going to miss the playoffs in 2025. There's going to be a handful of teams that didn't make it, like the Indianapolis Colts, for example, that turned things around, and now they're a playoff team. Isn't that what we are potentially seeing in the first month of the season with the Baltimore Ravens? So I don't want to completely bury them. I don't want to completely kick dirt on them, but it don't look good. And if you're going to turn things around, you're going to have to ask yourself, with whom are you turning things around? And how quickly are you going to be able to get there? Because what you have been so far in the first quarter of the season is not a team that looks to me to be a playoff team. That looks like a team that goes 8-9 and narrowly misses the postseason and tries to regroup for the 2026 campaign. The other team that they reminded me of, and maybe this is an overreaction to the sports talk calls that I remember we got back in week 1, Rob. What if this is John Harbaugh's Andy Reid year in Philadelphia? You guys remember, Andy Reid had tremendous success in Philadelphia. Tremendous success. They went to NFC championship games. They went to a Super Bowl. They were constantly in competition for their division. They had a down year, and the Eagles just went in a different direction. They went to go get Chip Kelly. Andy Reid needed a fresh start. He came to Kansas City and found his forever quarterback and turned things around. Is that potentially what's happening right now to the Baltimore Ravens? Because in some ways, they do feel a little bit stuck. Lamar can't beat Patrick Mahomes. He can't beat Josh Allen. Well, if you can't beat those two guys, then why are we having Super Bowl conversations? You have to beat those guys in order to find yourself in the Super Bowl. I want to throw those teams out there, 913-586-7965. What if the Ravens, in the short term, their last year's version of the San Francisco 49ers, what if this is John Harbaugh's Andy Reid year in Philadelphia? Great coach, well-respected around the league. Your time has just quite simply come to an end, and it is in everybody's best interest for you to go somewhere else. What if that is what's currently happening right before us with the Baltimore Ravens, that they could just need a new voice in the room, a new offense, a new defense, a new leader, a new philosophy? What if the Ravens are just in search of something new, fresh, and different from what they've been doing for the last 15 years or so?
I think of the two comparisons, I like the Philadelphia Andy Reid one more because I don't think you can tell me with the lead of the show, and I don't disagree with you, by the way, the Ravens quit and then turn around and be like, but they're just the Niners of last year. Some bad injuries, they got beat up. They'll be back because we think they're a championship pedigree type of team. Just some years not your year. That team looked like it quit on their head coach. That team looked like the messaging was stale. That team looked like it needs a change. It wasn't just Lamar Jackson with the appearance that he didn't fight to get back in the game. There were multiple times he had like a temper tantrums is the best way I can describe it on the sideline. They showed Derrick Henry at one point on the sideline. He just looked like he had dissociated. He wasn't there anymore. He was physically present, but I don't know where he was mentally. And throughout the game, they just kept showing that Ravens sideline, and they looked like there was nothing behind the eyes at times. That's coaching. That's leadership. That's the power structure that is the Ravens. And we'll react to what the national media said over the course of the show, even tomorrow too. But The Ravens that me and you grow up with, we're, going to make you black and blue. We're going to bruise you up. We're going to grind you. We are going to out physically, mentally, and physically just bear down and tear you apart. That was not the team I saw on Sunday. The Ravens that had Joe Flacco and Ed Reed and that group of 07, that is not the group that took the field on Sunday. That team looked like, I know it's only September, but they had a lot of 3-2-1 Cancun energy, way more so than they're going to stay in there and fight this out to see what happens.
You know my belief that teams take on the personality of their leaders. I thought the leaders of the Ravens quit yesterday. I think Lamar quit. There is no scenario, there is no world in which I think Patrick Mahomes leaves the game, sits on the sideline, doesn't try to get any treatment, doesn't get an MRI, is happy just sitting on the bench for the final 15 minutes of the game and letting Cooper Rush go out there, and then is the first one dapping dudes up in the middle of the field when the game is up. I think Lamar got punched in the mouth yesterday, realized they couldn't win, realized it wasn't their day, and just said, no, I'm good. I'm out. We can talk more about Derrick Henry and the numbers, and Derrick Henry, after that initial monster game against the Buffalo Bills, has just not been that bruising back that you're talking about. So if your quarterback gave up on you yesterday, your running back isn't what he was maybe a year or so ago, it kind of leads you to get beat up the way that they did yesterday. It's not that the Chiefs won the game yesterday against the Ravens. It's the how they won the game. They just physically punched Baltimore, and outside of that first drive where the Ravens, their first scripted 15 plays, they go down the field like a hot knife through butter. After that, it was like the Chiefs said, no, we're not doing that anymore. And the Ravens just quite simply just didn't have any answer for anything Kansas City wanted to do for the final 55 minutes of that game. I want to go back and I want to play this. And this is what kind of gave me that thought about this being Harbaugh's Philadelphia year with Andy Reid, and just it was time for the two to go in different directions. Whenever fans start calling into sports talk radio and they're talking like this is usually a sign that the end is not that far away.
Hey, guys, if you could just give me like 20 seconds to vent real quick.
Go for it.
I just want to talk about a few players. Roquan Smith, fraud, all bark, no bite. All fraud, absolute fraud. And he's still slow on the field. He's digressed since PQ left. He misses PQ more than PQ misses him. John Harbaugh, fraud, speaks in parables every single year. Parables, parables, parables. The team wins despite him. Zach Orr, unequipped, unexperienced, fraud. No time for learning on a job while you're chasing a Lombardi. And the positivities, I wanted to say shout out to the left side of the O-line. Yeah. Voorhees and Stanley and Linderbaum played their ass off. The right side of the line struggled. Lamar Henry, Zay, Kyle Hamilton, Teddy B, and Travis Jones. They seemed like the only players that was playing on that defense last night.
Right now they ain't got none of half those dudes that he named from week one ain't playing for the defense for them right now. We're going to get the Baltimore sports talk. We're still in the process of tracking it down, so don't worry. We're going to have some fresh, new Baltimore sports talk because I can't wait to hear what they have to say about the drubbing they just got. I mean, you got to feel down if you're a Ravens fan. You played the other two big dogs in the AFC. We spent all summer and all spring talking about the big three in the AFC. You got Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore. Well, Buffalo looks like in the regular season, they're the best version of that team. I know what you're going to say, Chiefs fans. They got to see us in January. Well, it's September. Buffalo looks like they're the best team in the AFC right now. Kansas City is 2-2, but starting to get healthy, starting to figure some things out. Certainly still 100% in that mix and in that conversation. And the Ravens look like a team that's about to have the 13th overall pick in the NFL draft. That's how they look. The Ravens look like a team that's going to be selecting 13th in this upcoming draft. They look like a team that is going to win 7 or 8 games and narrowly miss the playoffs. That is what I saw yesterday when I was watching this team. Speaking of what I saw yesterday, and I know that you guys are going to accuse me of hopping on the bandwagon, and maybe this is my fault. I cheer for Missouri, right? You know this. And there are certain games and certain moments that Missouri has a chance to prove you wrong. Kind of like what they have coming up next week against Alabama. Now, I know some of you will say, oh, this is Nick Saban's Alabama. Well, he ain't coming back. He's a television host now. If Missouri beats Alabama next week, that will show a large portion of you, hey, maybe Missouri is for real. This isn't a game that they usually win. Maybe they are the program that they think they can be. But if Missouri loses, you know what the thought process is going to be. Oh, same old Mizzou, I told you. This moment happened yesterday for the Los Angeles Chargers. And they weren't playing Alabama. In fact, they were playing the anti-Alabama. They were playing the New York Giants. New York Giants with a new quarterback, coach who we think is about to be fired. Their best receiver tore his ACL in the middle of the game. I mean, every version of the Chargers that we've seen, I mean, serious, every version of the Chargers that we have ever seen loses that game. There is not a single year that you can point to me in the last 15 where you were telling me that the Chargers would have won that game. So if the Chargers want the rest of us to believe that they're different, maybe they are different. Well, yesterday was one of those kind of moments. You know, you're feeling good. You won all 3 games against the other teams in the AFC West. You're starting to get a little bit of praise. Cowherd's putting you at the top of his herd hierarchy. People around the league are starting to consider you as the favorite in the AFC West. Vegas has you as the AFC West favorite. You know, the tide was turning for them. Well, you got a game against the New York Giants, a team that's going to pick in the top 10 of the NFL draft. The Chiefs, they don't lose that game. You want to know how I know? I just saw them win it. The Eagles wouldn't lose that game. Buffalo wouldn't lose that game. You know, the teams that we think can actually win the Super Bowl, the Lions would have won that game. This is why people don't believe in you, Los Angeles. This is why people call it chargering. This is why we doubt you. Because no matter how different you claim to be, no matter what color jerseys you're in or who your head coach is or how much we like Quentin Johnston because he's improved, you will always do things like this. You've always done things like this. You're no different. You just simply changed the caps from red to blue. And I will give you guys a lot of credit, Chiefs fans. I don't want to take it away from you. You might be the only people that see the Chargers for who they truly are. Everybody else gets enamored with the things. They're like a broke person that tries to overcompensate with it by buying a lot of fancy clothes. You know, sometimes the nicer the shoes, the broker the person really is. They're really trying to fool you. I see you got all the designer on. What's that, Prada? They start wearing name brands you can't even pronounce. But deep down, you know, that person ain't got it like that. That person's pockets ain't really like that. You guys are the only ones that see the Chargers for who they really are. Fraudulent. Scoring 18 points against the New York Giants. Disgusting effort, Rob. Absolutely disgusting effort. I got to give the text line a lot of credit today. I'm sure the text line will do something to have me take the credit back. But right now, the text line, they're pitching a perfect game. It's early. But right now, the text line is pitching a perfect game. You guys always say it about the Chargers, and the Chargers every single year, they show you exactly who they are.
I mean, that was I don't remember the exact texter. So if you are this person, please text in. Congratulations, you nailed this prediction. We were talking about the Chargers and the AFC West and the whole thing last week. Someone texted in, they're going to lose the Giants, book it. And I remember reading that text and kind of giggling, like, come on. This is just regular Chiefs-Charger rivalry fodder, but there's no way Jackson Dart's first start, that defense, against Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh are going to lose to dead man walking Brian Daboll. It's impossible that happens. Lo and behold, kudos to whoever that texter is, because the Chargers looked bad. Like, there are people in New York very excited about Jackson Dart today, and that is a product of the Chargers being bad. Now, they still lead the division, and they have the all-important tiebreak right now with the Chiefs because they got the Chiefs head-to-head. I get that, but that is not the first or last time this season we're going to be saying at some point, the Chargers really had a chance to stranglehold the division, but then they lost to insert blank. Maybe they'll lose the Cowboys because that's the cross-division rival this year. I don't think they're beating the Eagles. They've already lost the Giants. Maybe they'll slip up and lose somewhere else. You're going to be like, oh, the Chargers are exactly who the Chargers thought they were. We thought that they were. So Not great if you're one of the a dozen Charger fans that exist, but that's just what happens every year with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Without fail. I mean, it's really like clockwork. It's like clockwork. You could just tell that was the trap for the Chargers. And they fall for the trap every single time. Rob, it's like a team. It's like Ole Miss. Whenever they go like on the road to Kentucky, you're like, hey, I don't care how good the season's going. You're not winning that game. You're definitely losing on the road to Mississippi State every single time.
They're James Franklin.
They're for sure.
Because the Chargers will lose a game they shouldn't. They'll lose the teams they should. And then at the end of the day, they're going to be like, man, aren't we the spiciest 10-7 team? Who cares? Who cares about being the spiciest 10-7 team? You're 10-7.
Fraudulent. I'm mad you reminded me about that fraud. We didn't even talk about Penn State in our pre-show meeting. I've completely tried to erase Penn State from my mind. I really have. I don't want anything to do with Penn State. I really don't want anything to do with them. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll talk a little bit of college football. Just a hint, a tinge of college football. Rob, do you listen to Bad Bunny? I only ask if you listen to Bad Bunny because your music tastes are very eclectic. You listen to a wider range of music than I would have presumed. You know, every year at the end of the year, we go through your Spotify, and your number one song last year was Kane Brown. I didn't know that you were a big Kane Brown individual. Now, I don't listen to Bad Bunny, but you might listen to Bad Bunny. Are you a Bad Bunny fan?
I am not a Bad Bunny fan, and I'll go a step further. And this is not an insult to Bad Bunny. I don't think I can name a single Bad Bunny song.
I couldn't name one either. I mean, I couldn't name one that wasn't with Drake. I can name one that's with Drake.
Yeah.
I just couldn't name one like on his own.
I can't name a Bad Bunny song. I can name songs that he is on.
I think I would struggle with that, to be completely honest with you. This is the thing, and this is a really, really important message that maybe you need to hear it, maybe you don't need to hear it. Everything is not for everybody. And sometimes I feel like in pop culture, people just hate on things because they're not the demographic for it. The Super Bowl halftime show has pretty clearly shown you who I think their demographic is. Sometimes they go for nostalgia. They've done that before, but most of the time they are trying to find hip, young, current acts. So if you want them to go back in time and get the band that was hot in the 70s, that's not what the Super Bowl halftime show, I think, wants to represent today. I think they want to be young, hip. And I understand if you're the 47-year-old football fan and you're like, hey, who is Bad Bunny? The kids, they listen to Bad Bunny. They do. I looked this up today because I was genuinely curious. Rob, did you know that Bad Bunny was the third most streamed artist last year on Spotify? Number one was Taylor Swift. They asked Taylor Swift to do it. She declined. Number two was The Weeknd. The Weeknd just did it in 2021. And then number three was Bad Bunny. Very popular artist. Now, I don't listen to Bad Bunny. And you know what? That's okay. I'm perfectly fine with the 14-minute halftime show not being for me. I, in fact, don't really have any interest in this year's halftime show. You know what? That's fine. I somehow have made it without really having an interest on what's going on in the halftime of the football game that I'm watching, especially when there's so much other things that are going on. So you know what I will be doing during the halftime? I'll probably just take a little bathroom break. Maybe I'll go outside and use the phone. Maybe I'll surf the internet. I'll be on TikTok. I'll be on Twitter. That's usually time I need a refill anyway. Hey, you're going upstairs? I'll go up there with you. Let's grab something to drink. That's time for me to double up on plates. That's a good time for me to go get my cheesecake and start getting my dessert and get ready for the second half of the game. I'm just here to tell you that if this year's halftime performer is not for you, that you will be okay. And yes, they didn't pick who exactly you wanted them to pick. Trust me, you will be fine. I tell you guys this every year. I don't know if they can make us all happy anymore with the halftime performer. We don't all listen to the same music anymore. We used to. When we used to get our music from the radio and get our music from the television, it was curated in a way where we all liked the same 8 to 10 artists. That's not the case anymore. That's how somebody like Bad Bunny or Billie Eilish can be one of the 5 most popular musicians in the world, and you have no clue who they are because you don't listen to that kind of music, and that's okay. Bad Bunny is not for me. Not at all. Billie Eilish is not for me. Hell, I don't listen to Taylor Swift's music. But if that's who they're going to put on the halftime show, I just understand that year, the halftime show ain't for me. It'll come back around. They'll have people that I want to see. They've had people that I want to see recently do the halftime. They just aren't doing that this year. So salute to Bad Bunny. Salute to you if you are happy that Bad Bunny is doing it. And I hope that it's your favorite halftime performer. I'm just telling you that during that time, I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm okay. Y'all got it. Y'all can have it. There's plenty of things you guys like that I don't like. I didn't watch Love Island. Some of you watched every single episode. There's plenty of shows and things that people like that I don't like. And that's perfectly fine. This Super Bowl halftime is perfectly fine. They picked a modern, very popular act that appeals to a lot of different ages and a lot of different demographics, and that's perfectly fine if I'm just not a part of that demographic of people that want to hear this music for 14 minutes. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk a little bit of college football, and we'll get back to the Chiefs and their destruction of the Baltimore Ravens. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, a show that prides itself on getting it right.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Football season's in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all of the action. And you can select entries and win money right now, today, in the state of Missouri. And playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get all your entries right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. I love combining selections from multiple games into one entry. That's how I play on the Underdog app. So download the Underdog app today, sign up with the promo code BOB to secure $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code BOB to score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 and over and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine. You could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt. But you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. But listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. That's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. Cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. Imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt. And you can stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. Get your all-cash offer now. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This afternoon, expect sunny conditions with a high of 85.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
All right, we can talk about this at the top of the hour if you would. This is the top text on the text line. C.Rob, when are you guys going to talk about how it's time to cut bait with Harrison Butker? He's becoming very unreliable. We know that he's going to miss a kick or an extra point at a crucial time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's time for the Chiefs to move on from him. You just played the audio. Baltimore fans were talking about frauds. We have a fraud in Harrison Butker. We can talk about Harrison Butker at 3 o'clock. I'm just going to go and give you a disclaimer before we get there. This is going to be one of those topics where I'm going to tell you guys how it is, and you guys are going to be mad. Like, I've done this long enough to know that I know what my take is, and I don't think you guys are going to like my take. And you guys get all mad about it, and I'm like, I'm right. I don't know what to tell you, but I know that I'm right, and you're wrong. We'll do that here in a little bit. We will take a quick detour to talk a little bit of college football. Now, I know that I led the show making fun of KU. I mean, come on now. It's part of my brand. You know, we have to do the raise your hand if your team won. And when your team is undefeated and you've beat your rival so far head-to-head and they've also lost twice, I mean, come on now. I mean, you just put it right there on a tee. You guys didn't expect me to try and knock it out the park? I got to make fun of them a little bit. But now let me get very serious. Rob, tell me if I'm wrong. Last year when KU struggled, I felt like a large portion of it was directed at their quarterback. He just wasn't playing well enough. Last year, it felt like it was directed towards the offensive coordinator and their quarterback last year. This Saturday was the first time that I can remember, and maybe I have a bad memory. It is the first time that I saw KU fans unhappy with their head coach and who their head coach is. Now, I asked this question. Who does KU think that they should be? What kind of program do they think they should be? Because I would argue that KU is the exact program that they should be. They are a fun-to-watch bowl team. And I don't know what more KU fans expect out of their football program. That there are some disadvantages that KU has that will just always make it very difficult to build the kind of football program that you think. I also think that whether it's NIL, the transfer portal, whatever it is, I always feel like fans think that their program is probably a lot closer to it than they probably are, and always think that there is this ceiling that is just very, very unrealistic for them to probably get to. And it feels like that's kind of where I think Lance Leipold is. He is kind of giving you a little bit of a taste. You've gone to 2 bowl games. You won 9 games before. You look and you see how things are going for Missouri. Now, I know that K-State hasn't gotten off to a good start. You kind of look and you see what K-State is, and you think we should be that. I'm not saying this to troll you. KU fan, you've never been that. You guys have been playing football since the early 1900s. You have 3 seasons in which you have won double-digit games. And now I think with NIL, now we just think that everybody can just magically become somebody new as a program. I don't think it works that easily. I understand being frustrated about what happened on Saturday. I really do. I watched a large majority of that KU game, and that is a game that absolutely they had a chance to win. But KU is a 7-5 football team. 7-5 football teams, that's kind of what they look like occasionally on Saturdays. They lose games like that. So I kind of think that Lance Leipold has actually done a really good job and gotten really close to the most that I think you can out of KU's football program. Sure, you can have the 1 year where you pop up and you do something magical. Folks, they've had one of those in the last 50 seasons. That is just not historically what KU's football program has been. And I don't really know if KU just as a whole, I don't think if KU and their donors and their fans, I don't know if they really want to be a great football program. I think it's a nice distraction to get you into your legendary basketball program. That's how it's always come off to me. But I'm an outsider. I cheer for Missouri, so maybe my opinion just doesn't matter. Rob, you're a season ticket holder. You're A1 prime demographic for KU. It did feel like on Saturday, that's the first time that I've seen KU fans frustrated with Lance Leipold.
I think it's the trend because I feel like KU fans are looking around the world of college football and thinking to themselves, yes, the way you describe KU fans is how a lot of them feel. I want to have fun in the fall, go have a few pops, have a nice stadium experience, go to a bowl game, and, not be a laughing stock. But it feels like, as you look around the sport, there are a lot of teams that used to be in that same ballpark as Kansas, and now they've excelled out of this tier. I know Indiana is a one-coach program. I get that. But KU feels like they have a same level of coach that Indiana does, or they did when they hired him. Guy from a D2 smaller program that was doing great. Now let's see if he can take the step forward. Indiana's a playoff team last year. They'll be a playoff team this year. There's no reason why KU fans think they can't be Indiana. And I think why the frustration on Saturday existed is there is a quiet trend of KU losing close games, and people blame close losses on coaching. Yeah, they lost at home last year to UNLV. Now, you can say they didn't pick up a fumble, and that's why they lost, but they lost, air quote, at home to UNLV. They lost last year on the road to Illinois, a game they were in to the end. They probably should have won that one. They fell short. TCU last year. I know K-State fans are going to, push back on this. KU was in position to win their game last year in Manhattan. They found a way to fumble it away. They found a way to lose that game. They found a way to not win, which what bad teams do. And then this year, I know that Missouri was the better team, more talent, the whole deal. KU fans felt like they had the ball, down 4 around midfield, chance to go win the game. They feel like they did not win that game. They're going to blame their coach. And now this one, they led with a minute plus to go, and you felt like we should hold on to this win. They didn't, and that's where KU fans are going to start pointing to their head coach because one score losses, people blame on the head coach more than anyone.
What kind of program do you think KU should be? And I'm asking this like a genuine question because I asked it, and this was the sentiment that I got on Twitter when I asked this question. Well, we think that KU should be a 7-5, 8-4 program, and once every 4 or 5 years, they should be a team that wins double-digit games. What? Come on now. That's not the program that KU is, and you know that. This is what I think. This is my outside opinion. I think because they have a rich person that's paying for their stadium, they now think that transforms them as a football program. It doesn't. It makes you competitive with the other programs, but if you had been to a KU football game, that football stadium was just bad. It was old. You needed a new stadium. And one person just decided, hey, I got enough money, I want to pay for it. But we also live in a world with NIL. Man, everybody's paying. So, yes, KU has some advantages. Yes, they got a little bit of money right now. Well, everybody's got a little bit of money right now. Quite literally everybody's got a little bit of money right now.
To answer your question, what I think, and I can only speak for me, I'm not going to speak for the entire fan base. What I think KU is striving to become is what Matt Campbell has built at Iowa State. Because Matt Campbell, I pulled the notes right here. Matt Campbell's time at Iowa State, it's not 12 wins every season and they have a party in Ames down in the Sugar Bowl. But it's, 8 wins here, 7 win season, boom, pop up 9. Okay, regression now. 7-win season, bad season at 5 wins, pop up back to 7 wins, a nice 3-year run, boom, 11 wins. This year, they've started 5-0. Like, I think KU fans, I don't think they're there yet. I don't think the program is there yet, but I think they are trying to do what Matt Campbell is doing in Ames.
I think there are some major differences, and I know we're up against it. Number one, KU doesn't have a home base to recruit from. They do not have a home base. Their home base is not Kansas City. If you are one of the top players in Kansas City high school football, you were either going to Missouri or K-State or somebody outside bigger than that, right? Like we see kids go to Oregon. We see kids go to Tennessee. So if you don't have a traditional home base, and I think the KU fans are also underestimating what is it like to play second fiddle in an athletic department. That is a very unique challenge that not a lot of other football programs have to deal with. You are the number one. You are the top dog. I mean, North Carolina football has never gotten things going. That's something that they deal with. Duke football has never really been going. Indiana, outside of this one run that I think we all agree, the moment they hire a different head coach, they will go back to being regular Indiana. Like, I think those things matter. A, you don't have a traditional place to pull from, so you got more competition for D1 talent, so you don't traditionally get the best high school kids. And I think you just have to compete with when somebody wants to make a large donation to Kansas Athletics, it goes to the basketball program. KU just got the number one high school basketball player in the country just 24 hours ago. Their resources as a whole go to keeping up the machine that is the basketball program. And the football program is just a nice thing to have. So, hey, take your 7-5. Every once in a while, you'll win 8 games. You'll go to a bowl game every once in a while. But thinking that KU is going to turn into this team that consistently competes for the Big 12, I'm not trying to be funny. They haven't been that. They started playing football in 1901. They've never been that kind of program. The NIL now magically doesn't turn you into that program that you always envision yourself being. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll talk about Harrison Butker. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with C-Dot. Tune in as Nate Taylor of ESPN joins the show in studio every Friday at 4 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
DQ presents the sound of your next meal at DQ. It's the sound of savoring a signature stack burger, loving a chicken strip basket, or digging into everyday value with the $7 meal deal. Wait, where is the sound? Am I missing something? Oh, it's quiet because they're too busy enjoying their DQ food. Makes sense. So delicious and so peaceful. Grab your favorite from the DQ food menu today at participating U.S. locations. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
$100,000 is up for grabs only at Harrah's Kansas City. With 3 ways to win, you could score major prizes. 1. Each day through October 4th, earn to swipe your Caesars rewards card at a BattleBucks kiosk to instantly win up to $100,000 cash. 2. Collect targets and sink a ship worth up to $1,000 free play. 3. Join us October 4th for drawings with a grand prize of $50,000 cash at Harrah's Kansas City. Visit our website for full details. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results. Faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hey guys, did you know that September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, which makes it the perfect time to get screened? The 5-year survival rate is nearly 100% when caught early. Men over 50 or 45 if African American or with a family history should talk to their doctor about screening. Here's why screenings are important. PSA blood tests are quick and simple. Screenings can detect prostate cancer before symptoms appear. Early detection means more treatment options and better outcomes. Some prostate cancers grow slowly, others are aggressive, so early detection is vital. Prostate cancer is the second deadliest cancer for men, but when caught early, the survival rate is nearly 100%. Don't wait. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Nick Bolton. Tune in on game days to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danon, and Clean on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, let's move on to Harrison Butker. I always feel like with Harrison Butker, we have to kind of give this disclaimer before we discuss him. I don't care what Harrison Butker's politics are. I really don't. I mean, they're not my politics, but Harrison Butker is allowed to feel how he feels. I don't care. It doesn't affect my life in any way. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. I don't pay attention to it. I don't want to know any more of what Harrison Butker thinks. I'm fine with that. So I just want to give that disclaimer before we move. Like, oh, no, I don't care. Whatever he thinks is fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. So that's number one. Number two, I think this is very, very important to note with Harrison Butker. The money. Always follow the money. Now, I know that to you, the money doesn't matter, and I know we argue sunk cost on everything that happens, but I'm also not the one that's paying for it. So if I was the one that was paying for it, I don't know if I would just sunk cost everything. I would try to make it work for what I've paid for. So the Chiefs gave Harrison Butker a contract that makes him the highest paid kicker in the National Football League. They signed him to a 4-year, $25.6 million deal, and they guaranteed $17 million of it. So that contract basically ensures that he is going to be the kicker for 24, 25, and 26. For those of you that want to know what the cap hit looks like, this year, Harrison Butker's cap hit is $5.2 million. His dead cap is $15.2 million. That means they would just simply throw away $10 million if they just outright did something different with Harrison Butker. Now, you tell me what team is going to just give up $10 million for their kicker, especially in September. Now, if this is an issue in December and getting close to January, I am more than happy to revisit this conversation when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's September. They're not doing anything right now. If you want to go to next season now, it's a little bit different. I mean, the Chiefs will still have to eat a little bit of money, but it's a little bit more feasible if they want to move on at the end of the season. I mean, they're still going to be down, but it's far easier for you to walk away next year than this year when talking about the cap hit. Now, this might not be a message that makes you happy, but this is a message that you need to hear. The only option when it comes to Harrison Butker is hoping that he figures it out. They are not replacing him. They are not bringing in somebody else to kick field goals in the short term. What they're going to do is some old-fashioned trying to coach him up. Sometimes that's all you can do. That's why Dave Tobe makes 6 figures a year, to try to help Harrison Butker get back on track and turn into a kicker that people argued should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But there is no other option for right now. And I don't know if there should be another option in September for their kicker. I tweeted this out, and maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't see it. Where I will defend Harrison Butker just a little bit, is we have gotten to the point now where we assume that every field goal should be a make. That's not how we used to treat field goals 5-7 years ago. That the game has changed in such a way, and these kickers have gotten so good that now we take 50-yard field goals and 60-yard field goals for granted. It feels like every week we're breaking a record. I think it was just in the last 2 weeks the outdoor record was broken for the longest field goal in NFL history. These guys, the range has gotten ridiculous. The accuracy has gotten ridiculous. I looked this up because I was curious about Harrison Butker. If you go back 10 years ago, you had about a 50-50 chance of making a kick that was longer than 50 yards. It is now at 77% on field goals that are over 50 yards. Now, that's not automatic, but the feeling is you should be making like 95% of those kicks. That's just not realistic. Now, I know Harrison Butker has missed some extra points. He's missed some kicks. I get all of that. Just 7 months ago, he didn't miss a kick in the postseason. He made every single kick, every single extra point. Now, I can't believe that I am the one to be screaming this. Let's wait and see. I don't have a hot take for you. I'm not asking for somebody to get fired. I'm not asking for somebody to get replaced. I don't think they need a new special teams coach. I just think this is something that you quite simply have to let it play itself out. And let's just revisit this once it starts to get colder and once the games start to get more important. That's where I think you are with Harrison Butker. I don't think there's anywhere else to be in the short term. You're stuck for right now. You're stuck. You gave him this $17 million. You're not even halfway done with the contract. You got to just ride it out and see if he can get out on the other side. And I promise you, if this is an issue, once we get to Thanksgiving and Christmas, that Harrison Butker is still incredibly shaky and somebody that you can't rely on, and now you're heading into the postseason, I am more than happy to revisit this conversation. But for right now, there really is no Harrison Butker conversation because his contract doesn't really allow you to have a conversation about Harrison Butker. So, Rob, that is at least the Carrington official stance on Harrison Butker. Do you have an official stance, or are we going to say that this is the Drive's official statement when it comes to Harrison Butker?
This is the Drive official statement because of the contract and everything you laid out with Harrison Butker. But in this same vein, can I ask a question? Are we going to look back at Brett Veach's decision to give him that contract and say, woof? Because kickers are volatile. I know they're great right now. Like, Brandon Aubrey's a freak. Like, we can name elite kickers across the NFL. Like, it's not a hard game to play right now. But if you look at the history of some of the best kickers in the NFL, it usually ends fast. Like, I just looked this up. There was at one point in the NFL where Steven Gostkowski was the best kicker in the league. This was not like 20, 30 years ago. This is like 5 years ago. He was the best. He was making everything for the Patriots. Remember, they moved on from Vinatieri. They brought in Gostkowski. They had their heir apparent. Everything was happy. You know what the Patriots had to do because he started getting iffy? They cut him. Then he went to the Titans, and he was bad. Like Justin Tucker, putting all the stuff to the side about him being Mr. Nasty Man that came out after he was cut, the Ravens were like, uh-oh, it's not there anymore, and they moved on.
For sure.
When we were kids, you know who was a great kicker? Jason Elam. Do you know what happened to him? He got cut one day. Like, kickers just, I don't know if it's just the leg strength or whatever it is, the mental hurdle. I don't know. But it's not like you can see it just slowly fall off. It kind of just drops off a cliff one day. And giving Harrison Butker a major contract, is it fair to ask, was that a good call by Brett Veach because of the volatility at the position, even from, as I mentioned, some of the best ones in the history of the league?
I think that's a very fair point, but I also think like we kind of have to acknowledge where I don't know if kicking is like running back, where it kind of has like a historic line. Hey, man, once you get past 30, you're a little bit on borrowed time. And every positive year that you have at 31, 32 from your running back, man, you should count your blessings. You mentioned Jason Elam, who was one of the better kickers we've seen in the last 30 years. He kicked until he was 39 years old. He kicked from the Broncos from 93 until 2007. So he was still very productive for a very, very long period of time. I just don't know if I'm ready to say this about Harrison Butker after just 1 month of the NFL season. 1 month, he just turned 30. So I'm just saying, let's just give it a little bit more time. Yes, it is starting to be noticeable now. Has he missed a kick in every game they've had so far this season?
Extra point in the Chargers game.
Yeah,
so yes. I guess yes. To answer your question, yes.
He has missed a kick in some form in every game that they have had so far this season. I am willing to let who at one time was deemed to be the most accurate kicker in the history of the National Football League, I am fine to give him a little bit more time to get himself out of this rut. I think you can officially call it a rut now. I don't know if you can call it anything else. I think it's very important to note, and Mitch Holtus pointed this out last week when he was with us, he's not missing the same way every single time. Sometimes it's short, sometimes it's left, sometimes it's right. Like, he seems to be in the process of adjusting his swing, so to speak, and trying to figure out what his motion is to get going. I'll give him a little bit of time to figure that out. This whole thing feels a little bit premature. It feels a little bit premature with Harrison Butker. I'm going to defend him. I'm going to give him a little bit more time. We had this talk last week when he missed a kick. He missed another kick. I'm still at the 3 to 4 range. I'm not going to get too alarmed about it, not going to get too worried about it. Let's revisit this conversation in 2 months. 2 months. Let's revisit this conversation in 2 months to see where we are with Harrison Butker. Have you switched your number at all? If it continues this way, are you willing to pull the plug a little sooner when it comes to Butker? Where are you at?
I am very much in the exact same vein as you. I will say, I don't think you can really pull the plug on him because of his contract. So I'm going to just state, I stay at my 3.5 to 4.5 pendulum in there. I think if this is a trend over the course of the season, in March, I will be clamoring for maybe they bring in some competition, but they're kind of stuck during the regular season in my mind.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're stuck in the regular season if it gets later in the year. Like, if it gets later in the year, then I'm willing to have that conversation.
I don't see the Chiefs eating $10 million, whether it's today or December. I just don't. Like, maybe they will, but the team that wrote it out with Jawan Taylor because of his contract, I don't think they're doing it. They're changing their stance because of a kicker. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, so text line 913-586-7965. Let me know where you guys are when it comes to Harrison Butker. I am unchanged with where we are. I am unchanged. I am still at the 3 to 4 range. I also think this question, someone said, let's be real. Who are we going to get if we cut him? I mean, the Chiefs found Cairo Santos. They found Harrison Butker. Like, it's not like they spent the draft pick on Harrison Butker. Harrison Butker was on another team's practice squad. They went out and grabbed him. So I don't know if that's a question that we can ask at kicker. You know what I mean? Like, if he's going to be a guy that's kicking 75%, you can find a lot of people that can kick that make 75% of kicks. So I'm not going to do what other options do they have at kicker? You can find another kicker for relatively cheap, the exact same way that you found Harrison Butker. Let's give it a little bit more time. That's my official stance. I'm willing to give it a little bit more time before I say anything definitive with Harrison Butker. We've been at this place before. He's missed a couple extra points. We all get up in arms about it, and then he turns himself around, and then you guys act like we overreacted from the beginning. You can fool me once on this. You ain't going to keep fooling me with this stuff when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's get back to Lamar Jackson, a.k.a. the quitter from Sunday. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/royal rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
There's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. With rates as low as 4.5% and your home's equity at record highs, now's the time to refinance. Our cash-out customers save an average of more than $1,000 a month and even skip 2 payments. Call 913-890-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars. People don't trust car buyers. People think the price is going to be wrong, and people think it's going to be a hassle. Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is what we do at GiveMeTheVin.com, and that's what makes us America's best car buyer. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com right now and get a quote on yours.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Week 4 of pro football wraps up tonight with the Monday Night Football doubleheader, the first of the 2 games. Miami hosting the New York team in green. Miami a 2.5-point home favorite, total 44.5. And I like New York in this game. I think New York is going to win. Miami is down a couple corners. Miami's going to have to send blitzes at New York's quarterback. And I think that quarterback can beat the blitz with his star wide receiver. And I don't like Miami's offense. I don't like Miami playing at home in front of a restless fan base. Give me New York plus the points in New York to win tonight. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
This Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, you can get a great deal on a new foot spa, transforming you into the queen of kicking it.
Wait, this has bubble jets. Okay.
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Huge savings on Dell AI PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors are here, and they're newly designed to help you do more faster. They can generate code, edit images, multitask without lag, draft emails, summarize documents, create live translations, and even extend your battery life. That's the power of Dell AI with Intel inside. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, Our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults, focused on the future. Classes start October 15th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Kansas City Winnow Sun. You've got a crash downtown. That's 670 eastbound at Paseo. Right lane is blocked. Discover the latest HVAC, plumbing, and trade solutions with companies like Milwaukee and Champion and 20-plus other vendors at the Kansas City Wind Supply Group Vendor Showcase, October 23rd. J. Riger and Company Distillery.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
We can move on from this. I just want to point out, we don't have to fire somebody after every week. Someone on the text line just sent this in. Hey guys, if the Chiefs were 4-0, bet, give them some time. But the Chiefs are 2-2 with a pretty brutal schedule. Let's cut them. Let's move on. Take the cap hit and move on. Let's stop with all the hometown homie stuff. It's time to move on. This is a business. This is his only job. If I put in 75% of the correct plumbing in a house, do you think I would have a job? I just want to say that it is impossible to run a team this way. After every week, the text line wants to fire somebody. Juwan Taylor, Harrison Butker, Isaiah Pacheco, the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach, the wide receiver coach. We don't have to do this after every single week. This is no way to run a team. The dead cap space matters. It matters. I can't believe the sports talk radio host is like, wait, hold on. Your takes are a little too hot. Just cool your jets a little bit. Let's calm down. Let's give it a little bit more time. The leaves ain't even changed all the way yet. We already kicking people off the team? No, let's give it a little bit of time. A little bit. That's all I'm saying. Can we be a little patient? Let's see how it plays itself out. Now, it's not off to a great start with Harrison Butker. He's making 76% of his kicks. I mean, it is trending downward. Like, if you want to look at the numbers, in 2023, he made 94% of his kicks. In 2024, he made 84% of his kicks. Right now, he's at 77% is where he is. He's at 77%. Let's just see. Let's see how it plays itself out. That's all I'm saying. Can we all agree to do that? Can we give it a chance? Let me give you a Lamar Jackson stat that kind of blew my mind. So Lamar Jackson he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League's history. Like, I know he hasn't won a championship, and that's all that matters. I get it. But if you look at his regular season, he has been one of the most productive players that we have ever seen. Rob, did you know that his regular season quarterback rating is 103? The best you can do is 153. Like, I'm not joking. He has been one of the best and most productive players that we have ever seen in the National Football League, except when he plays the Chiefs. Do you know what his quarterback rating is when he goes against the Chiefs in those games? You know what it is? Half. It's 80.7. That is the same quarterback rating for a career as Blake Bortles. Just think about that. Against just about everybody else, Lamar Jackson is one of the greatest quarterbacks that we have ever seen. One of the most transcendent quarterbacks that we have ever seen. When he plays the Kansas City Chiefs, he has turned into Blake Bortles. I don't want to mince words. I don't want you guys to confuse what I'm saying. And I don't say this about professional athletes. You guys know this. I think Lamar Jackson quit yesterday. I really think that he quit. I don't want to hear this, oh, well, they were down. That's not what being a football player is. There's some things that you just can't opt out of. And playing football is kind of one of those things, especially when you're the leader the way that he is. Maybe Lamar Jackson is seriously injured. It just didn't give off that energy yesterday. We all saw the same thing. It was a regular routine tackle. He got up on his own power, walked over to the sideline, and just gave off the energy of, yeah, I'm done for today. Y'all boys got it. I'm good. I don't think we can win. It's not going well. It ain't fun today. I'm not running around and making all these big plays. These guys in front of me can't block. I'm good. I'm done. He got off the energy of somebody who quit yesterday. At a minimum, go in the locker room and fake ride the exercise bike. Go get an MRI. At least play into it. You got to Paul Pierce this bad boy. You got to have somebody carry you off the field and really make it seem like, man, I'm going through something. He was on the sideline pouting yesterday. This is your leader. This is one of the 5 highest paid players in the National Football League. And it looked like he grabbed his jersey and said, hey, coach, have somebody come get me. Of all the things that I think you can be disappointed about if you're a Ravens fan today, of all the things, that's got to be the number one, that my quarterback didn't look like he was ready to fight. He didn't look like he was ready to fight. We've seen situations with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you almost got to have the National Guard stop him from wanting to get back on the field. We saw Mahomes dislocate his knee in a Week 6 game against the Broncos. They popped that bad boy in. He's mad he can't get back on the field. Hey, man, you better put a brace on. You better shoot me up with something. I want to go play football. That ain't the energy I got yesterday from the quarterback of the Ravens. I got the energy of, hey, football's not fun right now. They're hitting too hard. Their defense is too fast. We can't get anything going. You know what? Why don't we get him next week? I thought he fell on his sword yesterday, and that's embarrassing. I'm sorry. That's an embarrassing effort from a 2-time MVP who we think should be a 3-time MVP, a guy who has a chance to win a Super Bowl at some point in his career, to at least the appearance of giving up the way that he did yesterday should infuriate you if you cheer for the Baltimore Ravens.
We talked about this a lot last week. We were talking about, who needs this win more? Is it the Chiefs or the Ravens? And we talked about the mental stranglehold that the Chiefs have over the Ravens. They absolutely win the war between the eyes, for lack of a better term, over the Ravens. And it's just, I feel like you were seeing that in real time with Lamar Jackson. That first drive went great. Then the scripted plays are no longer scripted, and things are not going well. He's fumbling. They're bottling up the run game. The RPO game is disappearing. The zone read game is disappearing. The Chiefs are doing what the Lions did by having their spy just kind of hang out near the line and wait and wait and wait, as opposed to like traditional spy. It was all the stuff was happening, and it felt like Lamar was just frazzled and frustrated and just here we go again type of energy with the Chiefs. And it felt like when he saw an escape hatch, he took it. And I'm with you. I've never wanted to question an NFL player's toughness. I would imagine just to get on the field of an NFL game takes more toughness than the average person even can imagine. But it felt like everything was going against the Ravens and Lamar saw an out and took it. And you're right. I know today during his press conference, John Harbaugh said, he couldn't get back out there. His status for Sunday is unknown. But if he's not seriously injured, I'm going to question if he tapped himself, Anthony Richardson, let me get out of the game.
That man was out of the game with a broken heart, is what he was out with.
It looked like the Chiefs just broke him. Like, hey, mentally
That's what
you're
he was
gone.
out with. That man was out with a broken ego. Questionable. Broken ego is what he was out for. I'm telling you, he looked like somebody that was in a fight, was losing the fight, and just didn't want to get beat up anymore, so he threw in the towel. I much rather you either get knocked out or you got to do some Leonardo DiCaprio level acting. You got to make me feel like you're hurt right now, like you really want to be out there, but just they won't let you. You got to give me a little bit more than what he got. And he just sat there and looked into the abyss and pouted for basically the final 15, 20 minutes of the game. And then at the end of it, you're the main one walking out, trying to dap up, trying to get dudes' jerseys at the end of the game. Unacceptable behavior. I want to play this for you. This was Stephen A. Smith earlier today on First Take. He is removing the Ravens from the Super Bowl contender list.
I think you look at the Ravens right now, you want to believe that John Harbaugh is going to get it together because his reputation speaks to that. But the reality is he's got some big-time questions to answer. This is the Ravens that we're talking about here. You don't hear about these kind of problems on defense. And by the way, I don't want to hear about Lamar Jackson's hamstring injury. They were down 27-10 when that happened, which means they were en route to losing that game. They were getting smacked around, and his frustration is really, stirring up. You can see it. He's not able to hide it. That's not usually him. So they know that something is wrong. And the biggest thing is this. There's immense pressure on the offense because they have no faith that the defense can get stops when they really, really need to. And even when they've had injuries in the past, the culture, what they stood for, what they represented, they made sure you knew that Ravens defense was going to have a say in some capacity. They might bend a little bit, but they weren't going to break. They're breaking quite often right now. Teams are salivating at the opportunity to go against the Baltimore Ravens defense. And we never thought that we would see that before.
I want to give you guys some Derrick Henry stats for you guys. Now, I'm not the same way with Harrison Butker. When you got somebody at that level, I don't want to overreact to 1 month. But you guys know my feelings on Derrick Henry. He is the running back of his era. He is the running back of his generation. I would vote for him for the Hall of Fame. Peak Derrick Henry is as good of a running back that we have seen since the LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk era. He has been a dog. The last 3 games for Derrick Henry, 31 carries for 115 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, he ran the ball for 5.2 yards per carry, and you know I'm big on yards per attempt, and maybe they just didn't give Derrick Henry enough attempts. Doesn't that seem to be a theme whenever Derrick Henry led teams play the Kansas City Chiefs? Why is it so easy to get these teams out of what they do well against Kansas City? Now, maybe it just quite simply is, hey, the Chiefs offense is scoring, so you feel the pressure that you got to keep up and you got to do it. But no, in a game like this, in which the last thing you want to do, which is put your defense back on the field because the Chiefs were just carving that thing up, maybe that's the game in which you got to give Derrick Henry 20, 25 carries just because you're trying to keep your offense on the field and you're trying to keep your defense off the field. Derrick Henry has not been good. Aside from that first game, in the first game of the season, Derrick Henry had 18 carries for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. Since then, 31 carries for 115 yards and 1 touchdown. Derrick Henry had a very disappointing September, even though the numbers would tell you that he was very good. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry in the month of September with 3 touchdowns. So maybe that is just our standards are incredibly high for Derrick Henry. But these last 3 weeks, 31 carries for 115 yards, that's a very beatable Ravens team, and they've been getting beat so far.
As someone who's been cheering for the demise of Derrick Henry for 5, 6, 7, 8 years now, I don't know it's over for Derrick Henry, but it felt like, at least yesterday, it felt like the Ravens just stopped using him. Like, I don't know if it was a game plan decision. I don't know if it was a scheme decision. I don't know if it was the game script. Like, I don't know what led to happen, but I'm sitting there watching the game. I have the audio on, and it felt like every time the Ravens had the ball, Tony Romo is screaming, "Give the ball to Derrick Henry. Get back to what you do." The Ravens are considered one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. That is largely built on having one of the best running backs in the NFL who almost rushed for 2,000 yards last year. I know he came up short, but he was, second only to Saquon, and Saquon had a historical season. And it just felt like they were content to have Justice Hill in there over and over and over again. So, like I said, it could be over for Derrick Henry. We now have a game where they just kind of stopped playing him. He had the fumble problems, and Therese always used to say there's only so many hits on a running back's body, but it felt like, as someone who's been saying it's been over for a while, to say yesterday was the day it's a sign it happened, it just felt like the Ravens quit using him more than he wasn't effective, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I certainly hear what you're trying to say. I mean, just looking at it, it's confusing to me, and I'm trying to pull up the numbers here really quickly while we're talking about it, Rob. So Derrick Henry, in at least the 2 regular season games, and I'll pull up the playoff games, the first time that Derrick Henry went against the Chiefs in a regular season game in Baltimore, so not in Tennessee, 13 carries in that game for 46 yards. Now, yesterday, 8 carries for 42 yards. We can go back to the AFC Championship game when these two teams went up against each other, a low-scoring 17-10 game. In that game, that was before they got Derrick Henry, so it doesn't matter. It just, to me, if you're going to make the investment to go get Derrick Henry and you got the offense or the defense that they have, I don't know why Baltimore just wasn't committed to trying to give Derrick Henry the ball 20 times yesterday. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. The best thing that Baltimore could have tried to do yesterday was slow the game down. That's what they really needed to do. They needed to slow the game down yesterday. And funny enough, because I don't think you and I maybe didn't give enough credit for how bad the Baltimore defense was going to be. And their defense was bad. Like, that's one of the worst defenses in the National Football League. And I just didn't want to see it. You and I were saying that that's not a game that Kansas City wanted to play, that they wanted to play the shootout, that they wanted to play a 24-20 rock fight, stand in the middle of the ring kind of slugfest. No, Kansas City was prepared to run. The Ravens should have been the one walking the ball up the court. They should have been the one taking the full shot clock. The Chiefs turned this into a fast break game and just hit the Ravens from absolutely all angles. Hey, we'll do an end around to Xavier Worthy. We'll throw it over the top to Xavier Worthy. We'll get it to Juju. We'll get it to everybody in the Chiefs offense worked. Yesterday was a Lamar, Derrick Henry. We're going to play ground and pound. We're going to try to run the football right at the Chiefs. We don't think they can stop it. For whatever reason, whenever the Ravens play the Chiefs, that's never the style of football that they try to beat the Chiefs with. It's like they try to out Kansas City, the Chiefs, and it just never seems to work.
I mean, I agree. I cannot believe, and I said on Friday, the Chiefs are going to want a rock fight. They're going to want to stay in the middle of the ring and, haymaker after haymaker, and let's get out of there with a 21-18 type of win. That's how I felt the game was going to go. No, the Chiefs came out, and they're like, we're going to score. Can you keep up? And it felt like the Ravens were like, yeah, we're the same high-flying offense you are. Watch this. But they weren't. They were trying to play fast-break football, and they don't have the weapons to be a fast-break team. It makes absolutely no sense to me what their game plan was. And now, I know they didn't have Derrick Henry in this game, but I think you'll understand my point. This is the second time that I've thought to myself, what is Baltimore doing for 6 days leading into the game? Like, what do they do on tape? What are they prepping for? What scheme do they think works when they play the Chiefs? Because I felt like one thing they had heading into the AFC title game a couple of years ago in Baltimore was you got to get Lamar out and running and then put, your linebackers in a bind, and let's see if Lamar can go be great and beat the Chiefs in the AFC title game. They were content to make Lamar a drop-back passer. That was a really stupid decision. They lost the AFC title game. This game, I felt like, hey, maybe you need to be in that kind of rock fight, dribble the ball up the court, four corners type of offense, 20, 25 carries from Derrick Henry. We're just going to lean on you, Marty Ball type of football for 4 quarters. And they were like, no, let's get into a shootout. And I knew by the end of the first quarter, they don't have the horses for a shootout. How come the Ravens just get out game planned the way they do so often?
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense to me. It's very telling how differently Buffalo plays Kansas City than the Ravens play the Chiefs. Like, Buffalo knows exactly who they are. They know exactly what they are. Think back to the regular season matchup last year. Remember when the Bills make the decision to go for it on 4th down? We're going to trust Josh Allen because we think Josh Allen is the best downhill runner in the National Football League, and we don't think that Kansas City can stop it. Like, we're going to play our game. We're going to be the best version of ourselves, and we think that's enough. That's just never what the Ravens do when they play the Chiefs. And for you not to just completely ride Derrick Henry for 20, 25 carries just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but that is also part of the reason that the Ravens got absolutely blitzed yesterday. Let me ask you this question. And coming up in a bit, we'll talk about Sunday Night Football and the ties and how I'm pro-tie. A lot of stances I didn't think I was going to be on the side of, but I'm on the stance of ties in football games.
That's a good take to have. I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm on the side of it.
We're going to be fighting a horde in about 10 minutes, but I'm excited to do it.
The Patrick Mahomes throw to Juju Smith-Schuster for the touchdown, when's the last time he had a throw like that? I'm talking about a incredibly tight window, put the mustard on it, touchdown. Now, he's made some miraculous, kind of scramble around, improvising plays. When was the last time that you remember him either having the time to sit back and make that kind of throw and just absolutely zipping it in there? I think more than anything, and I'm sure we'll talk about this at some point as the show progresses, is the Chiefs' offense back? What I think yesterday should show you more than anything is that's what the Chiefs' offense should look like when it works. Yesterday, just about everything was up and operational. The run game was effective in what they needed it to be. They had all the available options. Their offensive line played well. Like sometimes, and I get it, like I think we all know Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, but sometimes I think whenever it doesn't happen, we try to, no. Well, it's because these things around him broke down and didn't lead him to look like the amazing once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-generational player that he is. But, man, when you can get the things to work the way that they did yesterday and the run game cooperates with the offensive line, when you're in short and manageable down and distances, when you got down the field deep threat options, like I thought it was pretty obvious in the first half. They were trying to get Xavier Worthy in a bunch of different looks because they didn't think that Baltimore could cover him. We're going to give it to you on an end around. We're going to use you down the field for that big plays. That's what the Chiefs offense looks like when you give them time and weapons. That's what it looks like. When you give him a very good offensive line like how they played yesterday, he's not constantly in trouble where you feel like he's running for his life, and you give him guys to throw the ball to and make plays, look at what can happen. You can score 30, 40 points. You still got the quarterback to do all of these things. So how do you get your offense in a position that either A, you are protecting him like you did yesterday, or continue to give him explosive, dynamic players to make plays like they did yesterday? Because that's what Xavier Worthy is. He is an explosive player. He led them in rushing. He led them in receiving. He did just about everything yesterday because he's that kind of player. Coming up on the other side, sometimes you ask for something and you get exactly what you asked for, and then you're still unhappy about what you got. I'll explain. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Tune in Mondays at 4 to hear the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtus, on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Listen up, folks. I want to tell you guys about my new obsession. It's Daisy French Onion Dip. With football season here, it is the perfect dip for your chips, your wings. The delicious Daisy French Onion Dip and the Daisy Ranch Dip, they're game changers. They're delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and real spices and also ingredients that you find right there in your kitchen. So the next time you're having people come over to celebrate the start of the football season, you better make sure you have one thing, and I'm talking about that Daisy French Onion Dip. You can find it the next time you go to the grocery store.
I'm Mitch Holtus, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Every day, people in pain are taking control of their health and looking beyond traditional medicine. And that's exactly why QC Kinetics is helping so many people right now. If you're dealing with chronic joint pain, listen up. There are real options beyond steroids, surgeries, and meds. At QC Kinetics, patients are getting lasting relief using cutting-edge regenerative treatments that work at the cellular level. We're talking about revitalizing your joints using growth factors from your own body. It's simple. There's no hospital stays, no surgery, and no downtime. So if your knees, back, or shoulders hurt all the time, don't settle. Be smart. Don't let anyone tell you that surgery is your only choice. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation and exercise your freedom to look beyond the same old solutions. Thousands of people across the country are already living better thanks to QC Kinetics. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Saturday appointments available off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults, focused on the future. Classes start October 15th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Don't fumble your airport parking. Score big with Park & Go. All covered parking, fast and free shuttles, and open 24/7. For the best deals in airport parking, reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and fan approved.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Park & Go. You've got a problem downtown 35 northbound just before Penway. The right lane is blocked. Out near Independence, a crash 70 eastbound before Sterling Avenue in the right lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Rob, I feel like today I've been put in a position to defend a lot of things. I don't know why it's bothering me, and I don't even listen to this person's music, but I don't know why we're treating Bad Bunny like he's some fledgling up-and-coming artist. I don't know why we're doing this. Like, it's fine if you don't listen to his music. I don't listen to his music. But I don't know why we're acting like Bad Bunny's not popular. It's just very weird to me how the internet is acting today, how the text line is acting. Very odd to me. Very, very odd. Coming up in a little bit, we are going to be joined by Mitch Holtus. Mitch Holtus seems like somebody that loves Bad Bunny. We'll talk to him about that coming up in just a little bit. Now, I've been looking forward to this segment all day because I'm happy with the way that Sunday Night Football ended yesterday. In fact, I am thrilled with the way that Sunday Night Football ended. And this is why. I sat here and had to listen to everybody tell me how unfair the overtime rules were. And it's not fair. Both teams have to get the ball. I mean, it got decided by a coin flip. We didn't even have a chance. Okay, all right. So let's give both teams the ball. Let's just, here, both teams get the ball. Both teams got the ball. Both teams had an equal and fair chance to try to go win the game. Neither team won the game. The game ended. Oh, well, we can't have ties. What's happening here? The game has to end at some point. That's what happened on Sunday Night Football. I want to tell you something, and I know you're going to disagree because it is in your nature to disagree. But you know what I am saying is fact. There is no possible way. I mean, it is impossible to create a football overtime that we all like, that is fair, that is not hokey, and also doesn't jeopardize the health and safety of the people participating in the overtime. There is not a single one. So maybe you love the college football playoff, and sure, it's fun. Well, it gets really goofy at the end of it now. At the end of the second overtime, they make both teams now go for 2-point conversion, and then they turn it into a 2-point conversion off, which is dumb, which is incredibly silly. In the NFL, I didn't mind the way that we just had it before. Now, I understand the old way where you could just win on a kick. I understand that point. But people didn't like that way. They didn't like, hey, we flip a coin, the first team to score, they win the game. All right, fine. Then we had another way where, well, if you score a touchdown, that ends the game. A team scored a touchdown. Then people were mad that that wasn't fair. Well, how can you do that? I mean, what are you talking about? Your defense gave up a touchdown. We've been playing for 66 minutes. You lost. Good day. But no, it has to be fair. So, yeah, we gave them fair. Both teams had the ball. They had 70 minutes. No team won the game. They both go home. You get a tie. I'm happy with that. I mean, I've offered up my suggestion for the overtime. They don't want to listen to me. This is how I would do the NFL overtime in the regular season. 15 minutes or first to 6 points. That's it. So if you give up a touchdown or a safety, that's the way I do it. The game, it's first to 6. If you give up a safety or 15 minutes expires, that is the end of the game. That feels fair to me. That's not the rules that they have. But both teams know the rules. Both teams get an equal chance. Everything is fair. Nobody can say that the rules are rigged in one way or the other. It's not decided by a coin flip, even though it was really decided by your defense that gave up a touchdown. This is the overtime that everybody wants. So I don't want to hear anybody mad that the game ends in a tie. Because then if they tried to fix that, you would then call that hokey. Like if they turned it into a kickoff at the end and they just let the field goal kickers decide, you would hate that too. There's nothing that we can do to make everybody happy. So accept what you got.
I mean this as seriously as anything. I don't mind ties. I would be fine if they eliminated overtime in the regular season and just went straight to a tie. I'm with you in overtime of a playoff game. I want it to be fair. I want it to be equitable. I want it to be, hey, we just played 60 minutes. We get an extra 10 or 15 more. I'm with you in the divisional round, the wild card round, the AFC and NFC title game, the Super Bowl. I'm 100% on board. But it just feels like it doesn't happen all that often. It's okay to end a game in a tie. It is not that big of a deal. People love to panic and scream and shout on social media about how it's just a disaster and blah, 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 blah. A tie is fine. The Packers are better off today because they tied. The Cowboys are better off today because they tied. I think the system we have now is fine. And if we were to even refine it and say, hey, regular season games sometimes going to end in a tie, and we don't have overtime, maybe that would incentivize people to be more aggressive at the end of regulation. But people act like a tie is some terrible thing. It's not that bad at all. I watch a lot of soccer. It happens. It's life. There are different ways to tie. Sometimes you hate, like, we should have won that one. Sometimes you feel like you stole one out of the fire, but a tie is not that bad of a deal.
Someone said, just keep playing until you have a winner. Ties are lame. That just doesn't seem like a way to decide a regular season football game. It just doesn't seem like that. I hate the college overtime. If you like the college overtime, that's fine. I think it becomes really, really goofy.
Fast. It gets goofy fast.
It's silly. I didn't like it when it was a 7 overtime game. I also don't like it when now we're just doing 2. They even walk down to the, like, what are we doing here? Like, we can't do it where, like, I understand wind and all that kind of stuff. So wait, you're telling me, like, the offense can't just go for 2-point conversion facing it this way. The other team's offense comes, we could do it the exact same way. No, we got to go down to the other. It's dumb. It's dumb. I know you want it to be like football or basketball's overtime. Basketball's a very different game. Yeah, play 5 more minutes. Play 5 more minutes. Sure, you want it to be like baseball. Here, we'll just play an extra inning. Whoever has the most runs at the end of that inning, they win the game. That's not the way that football works for a lot of different reasons. So I just acknowledge that we're all not going to be happy with the way that they do the overtime. Some of you like the overtime. Some of you don't like the overtime. It really comes down to, can you live with ties in the regular season? Can you live with ties? I can live with the tie in the regular season. It's fine. You had ample time to win the game. Both of these teams yesterday had more than enough of an opportunity to win the game. If either one of them could get any kind of stop on defense, we wouldn't be having this conversation. The real talk today doesn't need to be about ties. It needs to be about how the Packers hoodwinked us. Because in back-to-back weeks, you lost to the Browns and tied the Cowboys. You're not a legitimate Super Bowl contending team. You can't be. It's impossible for you to be right now. You might can get there, but if you just gave up 40 points to the Cowboys offense and then you lost to the Browns, stop it. You'll never fool me. I'm serious. You'll never fool me. A lot of tomfoolery went on this past week in the National Football League. The Chargers fooled us. The Packers fooled us. It was a lot of tomfoolery going on in the National Football League, and I'm not here for it. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, Mitch Holtus. We'll talk about that beat down that the Chiefs put on the Ravens. That's all coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by Kansas City. Winelson, you've got the problem coming out of downtown, causing delays. 35 southbound just past 27th. It is the left lane blocked. Discover the latest HVAC, plumbing, and trade solutions with companies like Milwaukee and Champion and 20-plus other vendors at the Kansas City Wind Supply Group Vendor Showcase Thursday, October 23rd, 3 to 6 at J. Reiger and Company Distillery. Enjoy complimentary food, drinks, tours, prizes, and networking.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together, we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission: to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/royal rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
$100,000 is up for grabs only at Harrah's Kansas City. With 3 ways to win, you could score major prizes. 1. Each day through October 4th, earn to swipe your Caesars Rewards card at a BattleBucks kiosk to instantly win up to $100,000 cash. 2. Collect targets and sink a ship worth up to $1,000 free play. 3. Join us October 4th for drawings with a grand prize of $50,000 cash at Harrah's Kansas City. Visit our website for full details. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When it comes to buying a car, simple wins. Rob Sight Ford has the inventory, the trade values, and the non-commissioned team that puts you first. No pressure, just 4.8 stars on Google for a reason. ROBSIGHT.com.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name, and the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That's our philosophy at GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars. Fat ones, skinny ones, curvy ones, fast ones, slow ones, round ones, and square ones. Yes, square body Chevys. We buy them at GiveMeTheVin.com. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com right now, put yours in, and get a quote. We'd love to buy it. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Wildcat fans, this is Wyatt Thompson. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play of the 2025 football season, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. From Montana to Mahomes, his call has been synonymous with Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
He's the voice of the Chiefs kingdom, and he joins The Drive every Monday at 4.
You can't doubt the Chiefs! You can dislike the Chiefs! You can disrespect the Chiefs! You're gonna have to deal with the Chiefs!
Here's Mitch Holtus.
I am very excited right now to be joined by the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, Mitch Holtus. Mitch's appearance on the show is brought to you by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, Incorporated, and by Silverstein Eye Center. Achieve your best vision and experience outstanding patient care at Silverstein Eye Center. Mitch, it is very, very rare that you come in here that, man, I don't have anything to complain about. I mean, everything worked so great yesterday. The offensive line was fantastic. Pat played about as well as he played from a numbers perspective in 2 years.
Your therapy's going well.
Yeah, the wide receivers were good. The defense was good. Chris Jones got to the game on time. The popcorn was extra buttery. The beer was cold. There ain't nothing really to complain about from yesterday's performance.
No, and there was just the numbers between 2 and 2 and 1 and 3 are dramatic as far as where you want to get to. In getting there, there's only been one Super Bowl champion start 1 and 3, and that was 2001 New England Patriots. The year Bledsoe gets hurt and Brady takes over. But to get it done and to do it in all 3 phases, there were just some things beyond the obvious here that I think were noteworthy. No one's talking about Leo Chenal's interception. First of all, it's the biggest play of the game. The Ravens go down and score on a drive where they look like they've done the first 3 weeks and going to head for 50 points. And then because talking to the guys and Spags all week, he's like, can you get some stops? Can you get a steal? They had not turned it over yet. And then that play against Mark Andrews just kind of switched the whole feeling of the whole game. I don't think we talk about Leo Chenal enough. Do you know how many big plays this guy has made? And everybody just kind of glazes over it. He's the guy that stripped the ball from Christian McCaffrey in Super Bowl 58 that led to the recovery by Karlaftis. We know about the blocked field goal, but there's way more than that. For a linebacker to turn his hips, cover down the field against an all-pro tight end, and make that one-handed interception, you're not going to see that every day. And I saw something at camp with him I've never seen before. They repped him an OLDL one-on-one. He would do linebacker against RB, pass protection, pass rush. Then he would run over to the other field and go 7-on-7 on coverage. I don't think I've ever seen it. Leo Chenal made the play of the game, in my opinion.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Mitch Holtus, voice of the Chiefs. This is what I led the show with. I thought that the Chiefs made the Ravens tap out. I'm watching Lamar Jackson just on the sideline, and I can't envision a scenario in which Pat is just sitting there for the final 15 minutes and not trying to do whatever he can to get back onto the field. Like, it was very telling to me. I don't know. It just felt like the Ravens had got down. The deficit was too big. They realized they couldn't win, and they just packed it in and moved on to the next game. I feel like there's always those kind of inflection points in the season. Last time I felt like this, you remember this game. Remember that game against the Jaguars back? It was probably 2019. Remember how the Chiefs had the number one offense and the Jaguars had the number one defense? The Jaguars had just come off the AFC Championship game. Telvin Smith was talking about the Chiefs offense and laughing about it. And I thought like the Chiefs went out there with like something to prove, and the Jaguars were kind of never the same after that moment. It felt like one of those kind of moments to me with the Ravens that we talked about them as being the Super Bowl contending team, and the Chiefs just went out there and just thoroughly dominated them. Basically, after that opening drive from the Ravens, they didn't really do much else for the rest of the afternoon.
No, but think of the context in which your statement is made. And I'm not going to agree or disagree with it, but Mike Tomlin has the longest tenure as head coach in the National Football League. Think about what the Steelers have been for years. When I say Steelers, what's your first word? You think toughness, right? The Ravens have been the same. And Harbaugh's second in tenure behind Mike Tomlin. If that assertion is true to tap out, you're talking a complete change in what the Ravens normally are. Because they have been, even if they haven't been the most explosive team, they've been one of the toughest, one of the top 5 toughest in the NFL. Now, the Lions may be that now, but still, for the Chiefs to kind of take the will away from the Ravens is a big statement.
Right now, we're talking to Mitch Holtus, voice of the Chiefs. I don't think that I have ever been more excited to see a running back get 3 catches for 27 yards than I was for Brashard Smith. You and I have been talking about this running back room, and I think a big part of it, at least in the short term, is they're not making a move in the next 2-3 weeks or so. It's about defining roles, and I think they've figured out the role. Hey, I know what Kareem Hunt can do. I know what Isaiah Pacheco can do. We can infuse Brashard Smith into this offense and use him in that Samaje Perine, Jerick McKinnon role. They hadn't done it so far in the first 3 weeks of the season. They finally had done it. That's the most hopeful I've felt about their running back room all season. You could kind of see the vision of where it can potentially go as the season goes on, especially if they can implement Brashard Smith more into the run game and what they want to do, and also throwing it to him out of the backfield. I mean, he got 4 targets in this game. I want to see him continue, especially with his background as being a former wide receiver. Throw it to him a couple of times out of the backfield, get him in space, and see what he can do. They did that. I thought he performed very well.
And let's put Xavier Worthy in this discussion.
Certainly.
Because I can just put an RB by Brashard Smith's name and put him in the fantasy football spreadsheet as an RB. But he's got WRRB. And I mentioned last week one of the most exciting things offensively about the Giants game was what? It was the side-to-side jet sweep, end around, flip pass motion. And whether that person gets the ball or not, it changes everything. And Brashard Smith did that. Even though he didn't put up numbers in the game against the Giants, he still had that threat. The jet sweep is gigantic for this offense. So that action, right? It can be a bunch of different things. Now you put Xavier Worthy in, who's got a WR by his name, but it's no joke. He was the leading rusher yesterday because an end around goes for 35 yards. Your assertion, I agree with, is everybody's got a role now, but Xavier Worthy almost is a slash with an RB in this discussion, and then I'll take Brashard Smith and RB and make it a WR slash, and that becomes a real weapon, especially if you got a short yardage guy that can pick it up like Kareem Hunt. So the fact that Worthy is back and he becomes a complement, you got 3 guys now on the 4x100-meter relay team if you throw in Thornton. Okay? And then you can put Hollywood Brown in there, and Rice is coming. So now all of a sudden you put real pressure on the defense, but it's predicated on the side-to-side motion of a jet sweep, flip pass, end around that can be an explosive run or assimilate a run.
The point that I made earlier, and you were kind of getting into it, talking about Xavier Worthy, is, you need explosive players to come up with those explosive plays. And yesterday, you could really see the vision of what they see their offense being when they get Rashee Rice back here coming up in a couple of weeks. If you add Rashee Rice, you got Xavier Worthy. Now, everybody else can just kind of pitch into their role and be a complimentary. Hey, one day it's going to be Juju. One day it's going to be Tyquan Thornton. One day it can be Brashard Smith. But you could just see how yesterday, man, their offense fed off of Xavier Worthy and his explosiveness. They don't have anybody else like that right now that's available. A guy that, as you alluded to, can run for a 35-yard catch, can also one-on-one against a corner just outright beat him and have a 37-yard catch down the field. Like, that was something that was missing in terms of that big play explosiveness in their offense that you get back with Xavier Worthy. You're going to get back here coming up in 3 weeks with Rashee Rice. And for the first time in the last year and a half, you can have your offense that you always envision, having your 3 wide receivers healthy with the addition of Hollywood Brown, and now adding a player like Tyquan Thornton and continuing to get Brashard Smith. You now go from having 1 or 2 weapons to potentially having 4 or 5 here coming up by the end of the month.
You can at least place in the AFC West track meet in the 4x1. And the fact that Smith now becomes a potentially more explosive version of Jerick McKinnon or Samaje Perine. So, yeah, you can see it happening. And the fact that now Andy Reid can open up, I talk about it with him tonight, he can open up the cookbook even more so with that 800-plus plays in his iPad. So, yeah, I mean, there's just all kinds of potential here. The other thing that it does, and what you just explained, was the Ravens kind of stayed with the same approach on Travis Kelce yesterday. Kyle Hamilton didn't get hurt in that game. They had dudes that got hurt, we know, on defense and came in hurt. But that play that they made on the boundary to Xavier Worthy was against Humphrey, and he wasn't hurt yet, okay? So that's a really good corner that Xavier Worthy beat. Great throw by Mahomes. But they stayed with the kind of bracketing of Kelce. If you stay with that, all of a sudden, all the guys you mentioned now are open up. They're going to be one-on-one. I don't care if you're playing zone or man. You're going to have them isolated. Now, you're going to have to change then to get the bracket off of Kelce, which means it opens that up for a greater potential of being back to the effectiveness that we're used to when Kelce's on fire. So one helps the other, and defenses are going to have to make decisions.
One thing that we were talking about earlier, and I just want to get your thoughts on, is the Chiefs, to me, have a way of getting the Ravens to play outside of themselves that kind of stands out to me. Like, in these games, you would think you go get Derrick Henry after the AFC Championship game because the thought process is going to be, we're going to use him. We're going to run him 20, 25 times. And it felt like yesterday the strategy to me would have been for the Ravens, hey, we got to keep this defense off of the field. And if this is going to turn into a shootout, we just don't have the defensive pieces to keep up with Kansas City. To only give Derrick Henry 8 carries, and it seemed like that's been a theme of them. Remember that AFC Championship game? They only ran it 8 times in that matchup. Derrick Henry hasn't had 15 carries in the matchups between the Chiefs and the Ravens. It just feels like, at least when they play Buffalo, like Buffalo stays really true to where they are. Josh Allen, James Cook, we're going to get the tight ends involved. It seems like the Chiefs just forced the Ravens to try to be something they're not almost in every one of these matchups against one another.
Going into yesterday's game, it was the first time since Lamar Jackson had been the starting quarterback in 2018 of the Ravens that, let's take weeks 2 and week 3. First time they had gone back-to-back without 100 yards rushing as a team. The AFC Championship game, you remember they were going to have congressional inquiries into why the Ravens didn't run the ball more. 81 yards against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game because they decided to not run the ball. In weeks 3 and 4, weeks 2 and 3, I should say, they try to be something they weren't maybe, or they're trying to get the passing game developed. If you take Justice Hill's 71-yard run out of this rushing total, they're under 100 yards again for 3 straight games. And so that's not happened while Lamar Jackson's been there. I don't know why they threw it on 4th and 1, and you've got Derrick Henry in the backfield, but I'm glad they did. It's a compliment, I think, to Steve Spagnuolo and the Chiefs defense, because the Chiefs defense has defended the run for the most part. Henry had the one run early, but after that, he was shut down. And they shut down Justice Hill, and they bracketed. Lamar Jackson didn't get free. So we got to give a lot of credit here to the Chiefs defense in playing at all three levels and playing effectively.
I don't think the Chiefs' run defense nationally gets nearly enough credit.
No.
I mean, Derrick Henry has 88 yards in the 2 games with the Ravens against the Chiefs. Like, they've done a great job against him. Christian McCaffrey in the Super Bowl. I know the result didn't. Like, they've done a great job against Saquon Barkley the 2 times that they've gone up against them with the Eagles. Like, their run defense and their ability to take, like, if you want to run the football against Kansas City, they have a way of kind of taking you out of doing that and forcing you to go with a very different game plan. I thought that was obviously very telling in this one and with the defense. It leads me to my next question. I don't think there's anything on this team that has transformed the most from Brazil to now than the defense. It was like, it's hard to even think that was the same defense that went down there to Sao Paulo. These 3 games since they've been there, that's the defense that I thought they were going to be this whole time. That's a defense that is in the conversation of being one of the best in the league.
Especially the secondary. They're making plays. So you can talk about Jackson Dart didn't play. It was Russell Wilson, but the Chiefs still held him to 1 of 10 on 3rd down after the week before they put up video game numbers on Dallas's defense. This week, Baltimore was number 1 by far in almost every offensive category. They went 3 out of 10 on 3rd down. That's 4 out of 20 against in back-to-back weeks. So the secondary is played at a high level, whether they're affecting the play directly or not. Coverages, communication, understanding, all of those DBs tackle. There is not one DB on this team that is afraid to tackle or put a shot on somebody, and that's a big part of the defensive work. I think the Charger game, man, there's just so much involved in that, and give the Chargers a lot of credit. They had a great scheme, but the travel, the clunkiness of it, it was just difficult for that team to come out and just play, for the Chiefs team to play on fire. It sounds like an excuse. Maybe it is, but it's real. It's real. And now for the next 3 games to stack them up 3 games in a row, especially the secondary. We got Trent McDuffie on the show tonight, and that's something I'll ask him about. What happened between week 1? Because now it's been week 2, week 3, and week 4 against Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, and a Giants team that was coming off one of their best offensive performances in recent years, when the Chiefs played them. So that is a big story. And, yes, it's undertold how good the run defense has been, but how much improved the secondary of the back 7, including the linebackers, have been.
Let's move to the other side of the line of scrimmage. This was the best game we saw from Kingsley Suamataia.
Yep.
Jawan Taylor didn't commit a penalty in this one. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They kept Pat upright. I mean, I mentioned it. We were kind of joking about it. Like, the Chiefs really dominated this thing from start to finish. And that starts with the line of scrimmage on both sides. The Ravens didn't run the football effectively. The Chiefs ran the ball as well as they have so far this season. They also kept Patrick Mahomes upright. That led to one of the best offensive production days that we've seen for the Chiefs in a while as well.
And you saw what happened, not only getting Xavier Worthy involved in the offense, but what one more click of time means for Patrick Mahomes. Just give him one more count. Just 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Just give him that much more time, and all of a sudden, incredible things can happen. And so that was very evident yesterday. Now, things could be different this week because this Jacksonville defense is just like ripping the ball loose from everything it can find. And this is a good Jacksonville front. So you're going to go back to facing more of a giant-type front. We saw what the giant front did yesterday to the Chargers. I mean, I don't think there's enough credit of, like, fighting those guys because New York Giant front's talented, but so is Jacksonville. But there has to be an infusion of confidence. If we're going to talk about then the week-to-week improvement of the secondary, we've got to also talk about the improvement, especially in Kingsley Suamataia, in not just run but pass protection. But there was an attitude among the offensive line yesterday too. When I went back and reviewed the video this morning, I told you when I do play-by-play, I can't follow the line. You have to follow the football and what happens to describe it. So Monday mornings, I look almost exclusively at the line of scrimmage on both sides. And what I saw was an attitude. There was a 2 sequence of plays, a run by Pacheco that's zone blocking. That's just moving guys around. And that was done, even though it was a 4-yard gain, I thought, man, they came out with aggression. The next play, they ran a power O. Play side, Trey Smith stones his dude. But here comes Suamataia pulling inside, guard to guard, in a power O action. And it ends up being a double-digit run because I just think the offensive line took it to them. Now they're going to have to do it again against Jacksonville, and especially against the Lions coming up. But yeah, there was great signs of progress yesterday among that group.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Mitch Holtus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me ask you a quick Ravens question really quickly. it's not very often that you have a playoff game in week 5, Ravens and Texans in week 5. I mean,
week 4 was too now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like both of these.
That's what yesterday felt like.
Absolutely. A major swing game for both teams. I mean, I don't know. Like at some point, you just got to start winning these games. Houston's got off to a slow start. The Ravens have got off to a slow start. We'll find out this week if Lamar Jackson is going to play. That feels like an elimination game in a sense. Also, looking at the Ravens' schedule, the Ravens play Houston. They have 3 straight home games: Houston, the Rams, and the Bears coming up in these next 3 weeks. I think the Rams are one of the better teams in the NFC. I like this Chicago team. They got enough on offense that can really give you problems. Certainly, if you can't get stops the way the Ravens can get stops right now. I made the comparison earlier. The Ravens, to me, kind of feel like last year's version of San Francisco. 2 years ago, they went to the Super Bowl. They had everything. Last year, McCaffrey missed a bunch of time. Brandon Ayuk missed a bunch of time. Trent Williams missed some time. Sometimes there's just those teams that pop up every year that they got the talent, but for whatever reason, the injury bug decided to bite them. That kind of feels like that could be this year's Ravens team.
Yeah, 3 responses. One, it makes you appreciate the Chiefs having 12 straight winning seasons, doesn't it? Think how hard that is based on what you just said. Because everybody seems to have a dip. There's a 7-10 in there, an 8-9. The other 2 responses would be maybe the same response with 2 different discussions. That didn't make sense. But what's the AFC South and the AFC North going to look like in December? How many wins are the Steelers going to have? You know, I was talking with Jerry Sandusky, the outstanding, not the outstanding play-by-play guy at the Baltimore Ravens yesterday. And there's this feeling like the Steelers can't continue this. They look like, can they be 10-7? Is this a division in the AFC North that you can win at 10-7? Maybe, especially with Burrow out. Then what about the AFC South? Are the Colts going to be 13-4? Or are they going to be 10-7? What are the Texans going to end up being? Are they kind of that? So we have divisions here that are 9-8, 10-7 division winners, I think becomes a discussion. If it's going to be 10-8, the Ravens can get there. What I'm not seeing, that defense, I'm not sure they can fix it. And now you throw in, are they not going to have Roquan Smith this week, Marlon Humphrey, and the guys they lost in yesterday, and then with the guys they've already lost with Matabike being on IR. I'm not sure you can get that fixed enough to try to get the 9 or 10 wins, and you got to ride this offense all the way. But if you get to 9 or 10 wins, we may see the Ravens in the playoffs, just because I don't see that division of being – there's no 14-3 team in the AFC North.
2 last things here, and I want to learn a little bit more about Chiefs Kingdom. You got Trent McDuffie appearing on the show. Every year the Chargers show us at some point who they are, every single year. And the Chargers, I think, desperately want us all to believe that they're different. Every Chargers team for the last 20 years loses that game. Like, you go on the road against the Giants, rookie quarterback, first start, like – this is a game, if you're a true contender, Kansas City, not 100%, they found out a way to win. The Chargers always kind of lose that game. And going back to something you just said, kind of 2 parts here jumping around, you mentioned the AFC South, and you didn't mention Jacksonville in this one. Like, this is kind of, I'm saying, like this is kind of one of those games, if you're Jacksonville, like, you're probably not getting the national respect that you deserve. Nobody's talking about you. If you beat Kansas City on Monday Night Football, people are going to be talking about you of, hey, maybe we got to consider them. Maybe they are going to win their division. Like, this is a really big prove-it spot for Jacksonville to prove if they should be in that conversation in the AFC.
They're and I should have mentioned them because I've been working on them today. They're the 3rd team in the last 30 seasons that have had 3+ takeaways in every game in the first 4 games of the year, and fewer than 400 total yards allowed. I was thinking, when's the last time it happened? It was the 0-2 Eagles of Andy Reid. And that was Jim Johnson. Remember, the defensive coordinator died too soon of cancer. But the point is, Jacksonville's nasty now. They only had 9 takeaways in 17 games last year. They're sitting here looking at 13 takeaways in 4 games and 41 points off those takeaways. They're young and feisty and physical, and Travis Etienne's playing great. He had a huge game yesterday. They get Lawrence, where he didn't turn it over yesterday. He had been turning it over in the first 3 games. But I should have mentioned them. What is the AFC South like that? Do you have a 13-4 team? I don't know if the Jags can get there, but that might be your best candidate. And, yeah, this is a big game for them. Same with the Chiefs. But this is a much better Jacksonville team than I think maybe Chiefs Kingdom fans want to give them credit for. They're looking at last year's team. Nope, this is a new team, and they're fast and furious.
What do you have upcoming for Chiefs Kingdom tonight?
Coach Reid, and again, he's in a different spot in these Monday night chats. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. It's like he's sitting down having wings with you at Hy-Vee. That's what it feels like. And so we get into a bunch of stuff tonight with him. But then Trent McDuffie, and now I see a transition in Trent's career in the fact that now all of a sudden he becomes the mentor for a Jaden Hicks or a Noel Williams, where I'm excited about. The other part of the discussion is Noel Williams getting to the point where you thought we were going to have Christian Fulton be that guy so that you can play Trent McDuffie more in the slot? Because he may be, we've said this before, when he's in the slot, maybe the best slot corner in the league, especially as a pass rusher. He rushes the quarterback from the slot like an edge rusher does, not like a DB who's just kind of nilly-milly going after him. McDuffie's a superb rusher and great cover guy in the slot. So, but to do that, you got to have somebody on the outside emerge when you go to three-corner nickel. We play a lot of three-safety nickel. But if Noel Williams is getting there and gets there, or Fulton can get healthy in there, all of a sudden your defense can go up 2 notches because you got McDuff in the slot doing what he does best.
Have you been to 1587 yet?
Not yet. I can't get in, man. I thought I knew
Mitch,
some people.
you're
I ain't met Taylor yet. It's like I can't get nothing done with Kels.
Mitch.
I can't.
Come on now.
I know.
What's happening here?
I don't know.
If there was
I've lost my
anybody
swag.
that should have been
I lost
at
my fastball. I was like trying to get in. I tried to sneak in. You know, I don't think you saw my, they kicked me out. So I don't know if I'm like on some picture up on the wall, like don't let him in. I'm just trying to.
Your voice should be greeting people when they walk into the venue.
That's what I'm thinking. But, hey, maybe you need to rep me with those guys and help me out. I think Pat would let me in. I think it's Kels that's stonewalling me.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, I think it's Kels. He's stonewalling me.
That's for sure.
My granddaughter goes, have you met her yet? Have you met her yet? That's the first thing she says. I love you, Grandpa. It's like, have you met her yet? No, I haven't met her yet because Uncle Kels won't let Uncle Mitch see her. It's just, I know it's a travesty, man.
What's your favorite side? We've been talking about this since the Steakhouse opened. I'm a big crab cake guy. I guess appetizer. I'm a big crab cake guy. And then for my sides, give me a little mac and cheese. Give me a little mashed potatoes with my steak. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm crab cakes as well. But a cream corn, I'm not, where we're going with that. I can't say them right now on the air, but you give me some cream corn with, oh yeah, I'm in all day.
Mitch Holtus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Let me in, Kels. Let me in.
Yes,
please.
we got to figure this out.
Let a brother in.
You know what? I got to ask. When Pat comes on, we're going to figure out a way.
Ask him, Mitch Holtus.
Yeah, Mitch Holtus
can't get a table.
Mitch Holtus said he wants to go to 1587. Who can we talk to help for Mitch Holtus?
Please ask him.
That is the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Mitch Holtus joining us on the show. Coming up on the other side, the question that everybody is asking about the Chiefs' performance yesterday. We'll ask you. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. With rates as low as 4.5% and your home's equity at record highs, now's the time to refinance. Our cash-out customers save an average of more than $1,000 a month and even skip 2 payments. Call 913-890-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Football season in full swing. Underdog, one of the best places to get in on the action, and you can win money in Missouri. It's super easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower than stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and so much more, and get those entries right. And you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. It really is that easy. I love the different versions of games you can play over there. Ladders and streaks, pick'em contests and champions. All of those options available over at Underdog. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, TAPP. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Tonight, expect a low of 63 with partly cloudy skies.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152.
DQ presents the sound of your next meal at DQ. It's the sound of savoring a signature stack burger, loving a chicken strip basket, or digging into everyday value with the $7 meal deal. Wait, where is the sound? Am I missing something? Oh, it's quiet because they're too busy enjoying their DQ food. Makes sense. So delicious and so peaceful. Grab your favorite from the DQ food menu today at participating U.S. locations. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Anthony Plumbing, technicians you can trust with your house keys. We've got a crash 70 eastbound just before Sterling Avenue. Right lane is blocked and big problems because just before that, 435 northbound, the ramp to Stadium, the right lane blocked there. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Now, I know that you guys love to shoot the messenger, but the sports talk show only works if you talk about the topics that people are talking about. Now, I know that you all want to give the Chiefs all the credit in the world for how they performed. You think the Chiefs defense is back, and you might be true. But there are a lot of people that are not in the 913-816-785-660 region that are attributing a lot of Kansas City's success to the excessive amount of injuries that the Ravens have currently on defense. Here is Ian Rappaport going through the laundry list of problems that they have.
Lamar Jackson was knocked out of that game with a hamstring injury. He's going to have tests today just to determine the severity of this injury, but that is why Cooper Rush was in the game. That is why Lamar Jackson spent the balance of the game on the sideline. John Harbaugh saying this injury and all of the other injuries, which there are more, I'll get to that in a second, none of them are season-ending. They do not seem like any are significant, but certainly you have a player who has a hamstring injury, could potentially miss time. Roquan Smith, their star linebacker, another player knocked out with a hamstring injury. He also is going to have tests today. As important as Lamar is to the offense, Roquan is to the defense. Marlon Humphrey, their star corner, he was knocked out, eventually ruled out with a calf injury. That's another one to watch, another MRI coming. And then Ronnie Stanley, their star tackle, he left with an ankle injury. So, like, you talk about Hunger Games, there was a lot.
Now, someone on the text line brings this up. Sports talking heads say the Chiefs can't blame injuries for poor performances and losses, but are now doing it for the Ravens. Is there a double standard? I think you are making a very good point. Again, I'm simply here the messenger to ask the question, and I want us to discuss it. I want to play this question for you guys from Sam Munson, and then we'll talk about it more. Was Sunday more about the Chiefs' offense or about the Ravens defense? Here is friend of the show, Sam Munson.
I mean, this is the story of this game. Like, the Chiefs' offense looked like what everyone pictures the Chiefs' offense to look like for the first time in a long time. And obviously the question is, well, okay, was that the return of Xavier Worthy? You know, one of their most important players on offense, a guy that was supposed to be huge this year and right away gets wrecked by his own player, right? Travis Kelce runs into him a mesh, he's out, and suddenly everything looks terrible. Well, Worthy's back. You get big plays. You know, everything looks great. Mahomes is connecting with him. The deep ball's there. It's all phenomenal. The only caveat is it's against Baltimore's defense, which coming into the game was one of the worst in the NFL statistically, and they got banged up. Nate Wiggins had been like a rare bright spot on this defense. Like, everything's bad except Nate Wiggins is playing pretty well. Kyle Hamilton, you know, is still really good. But, like, generally speaking, this had been a terrible defense, but, like, Nate Wiggins has been really good. Well, Nate Wiggins gets hurt. Roquan Smith's hurt. Like, they're all hurt. Everyone's hurt. So you're like, how much of this was Xavier Worthy and the Chiefs' offense really getting it? How much of it is the Ravens have now become the Dolphins in terms of an asterisk where anybody playing them is going to look good?
That is the question right now in this game. Was Sunday's performance more about the Chiefs' offense or the Ravens' defense? I am going to argue that I think it's the Chiefs for this reason. I don't think that they had anyone close to the explosiveness that they had with Xavier Worthy. And I think getting their best offensive player back that gave them a big play in the run game, because I know that you guys are going to tell me about yards per game, and this isn't even a running back topic. But if you look up carries from the running back in this game, the Chiefs gave it 23 times to their running backs and got 78 yards. So, again, they didn't run the football very effectively when they tried to turn around and hand it traditionally to their running backs. Their best running play came from Xavier Worthy. Their biggest and most effective pass plays in this game, for the most part, were also attributed to Xavier Worthy. Now, I don't think him coming back fixes every single problem for this offense, but I do think him being out there and being able to take the pressure off of Tyquan Thornton, opening things up for Juju Smith-Schuster, opening things up for Travis Kelce in the middle of the field. I do think them giving Bashard Smith 4 targets in this game was a positive for this team, where it looked like the offense at times that they had in 2023 and when things were working in 2024, where you're utilizing all of the different weapons that you have. So if you were asking me to give out a pie chart, 100% of the performance, I'd probably say 55%, 60% of it, I think, is the Chiefs' offense to the Ravens' defense. I don't want to take away at all from what the Chiefs done. I really don't want to take away from it. The Ravens' defense is bad right now. It's really bad. Now, the Chiefs get all the credit in the world for going out there and doing exactly what you're supposed to do. They pummeled one of the 5 worst defenses in the National Football League and kept them off balance from start to finish. Aside from the missed field goal from Harrison Butker, the Chiefs scored on their first 7 possessions. It was whatever they wanted to do up and down the field. They wanted to run it, they could. They wanted to throw it, they could. They dominated the game in every single facet of it. But it's impossible to not at least attribute a little tiny portion of it to how bad the Ravens are right now on defense and how banged up the Ravens are on defense. So I want to hear you guys' percentage, 913-586-7965. I don't think you can attribute 100% to either side of it. I don't think you can say 100% the Ravens. I don't think you give 100% credit to the Chiefs. I think it's 55-60% Chiefs offense. The rest I'm giving to the Ravens defense being one of the bottom 5 in the league. Now, let's see, as the Chiefs play teams who are just better equipped defensively. You just heard the stat from Mitch Holtus. The Jaguars have forced a turnover. They have forced at least 3 turnovers in every game that they have played so far. They're going to play a capable defense coming up a week from today. So if the Chiefs go out there and look like this again, hey, I'm willing to revisit this conversation. But what I saw yesterday, 55-60%. That's where I'm at with the split between Chiefs offense, Ravens defense. Rob, what's your percentage split? We'll read some from the text line too. 913-586-7965. So I'm not ready to say that the Chiefs defense is back. I don't think you can completely dismiss their performance because of the opponent they were going up against. Where are you at?
So we see this pretty similar, just a little slight tweak at the end. Because there were a lot of individual things I loved about the Chiefs offense on Sunday. Patrick Mahomes looked like Patrick Mahomes again. The explosiveness that I've been told all offseason is coming seemed to show up, and that was a product of Xavier Worthy. Me and you spent a lot of time this June and July arguing about Xavier Worthy can take a step forward as a wide receiver. Small sample size, looks like he can. He looks like he might be one of those type of guys. They figured out how to handle the run game, I think. They have a little bit of this. It's now, get in where you fit in, running back by committee. I think there are a lot of positives about the Chiefs offense from Sunday, and I don't want to just say, oh, it's all just the Ravens. There's a lot of good there. But I think it's like 55-45 porous Raven defense. And this isn't even about their injuries. That Ravens defense is really bad. We talked all week, and your question leading into the game was, are the Ravens basically the Cowboys? Yes. The answer is yes. And Nate Taylor was on this show. I can play the cut on the other side. I went to go up against the break here. He said they are one of the worst defenses he's seen on film. He was laughing at the idea that they could stop the Chiefs because their defense is that bad. So if we are saying the Ravens defense and the Cowboys defense are the same, just different conferences, I'm watching a lot of mediocre teams put up easy numbers against the Cowboys. I'm kind of seeing the same from the Ravens. So a lot of positives from the Chiefs. But I think a lot of those positives are exacerbated to people saying, oh, we back. And the reason they think we're back is because they played one of the bottom 3 defenses in the NFL.
I think this is a very fair point from the texter. I know we're up against it. We can keep talking about this on the other side. C-Dot, I think it's 70% Chiefs. Why wasn't this an issue whenever the Bills and the Lions did this? Why are the defensive woes only visible against us? I think the argument would be is what the Chiefs did on Sunday, what the Chiefs did yesterday, that is not abnormal for Buffalo. They do that kind of frequently. What the Chiefs did yesterday is not abnormal for Detroit. They've done that kind of frequently. The Chiefs' offense hasn't looked like that in 2 years. That was the best day offensively the Chiefs have had since Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift started dating. It's the best game they've had offensively. So I think that's why it's popping up. It's not like the Chiefs do this every single week, so it's like, ho-hum, that's who they are. The reason it's a question is the Chiefs haven't looked like that on offense so far this season and popped up one day, and it was like they turned back the clock, and they look like the offense they had in 2018 and 2022. That's why I think it's at least a worthy question. We can keep getting your answer on this. How much of it do you think is the Chiefs? How much do you think it's the Ravens? I'm at 55%, 60% Chiefs. The rest I'm giving to the Ravens. The Ravens defense is bad, but you got to give the Chiefs a lot of credit for Xavier Worthy coming back, how they used him. Also, Brashard Smith getting him involved, and I think that opened things up for the offense. We'll keep talking about this. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HoldTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
He's a world arm wrestling champion, Michael Todd.
I'm globally known as Monster Michael Todd. I'm 52 years old. I've won 23 world titles and 36 national titles.
This tough guy never backs down, but a horrible bicep injury almost ended his career. Enter QC Kinetics and life-changing regenerative treatments.
Most people thinking that I'd never be able to compete again. Within 8 months, I became number 5 overall in the world. Now I'm marching towards that number 1 spot.
So how did he do it?
I'm a big regenerative medicine kind of guy. Once I found out about QC Kinetics, I wanted to try their protocol.
Those treatments use a patient's own orthobiologics concentrated and placed into the troubled area to help heal and restore the damage. No scalpels or harmful meds, just long-term relief.
QC Kinetics definitely have helped me be able to live this dream and be able to do what I want to do and continue to do it for a lot more years.
When the others say, time for surgery, you're finished. Not so fast. Call QC Kinetics. The consultation's totally free.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name, and the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Anthony Plumbing, technicians you can trust with your house keys. We've got a crash 70 eastbound just before Sterling Avenue. Right lane is blocked, and big problems because just before that, 435 northbound, the ramp to Stadium, the right lane blocked there. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val, 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Sometimes I be confused. I don't know why you guys treat me like I'm the enemy. C-Dot, it doesn't matter what team you have to play. Everyone picked the Ravens before the game. They were 2.5-point favorites, meaning Vegas thought that the Ravens were better than the Chiefs. Please don't take away this great win from the fans. Rob, didn't you and I ask why the spread was that way and that it felt off? Didn't we both pick the Chiefs to win? I bet the Chiefs to win on the money line. What is happening? That's why I said don't kill the messenger here. I'm simply saying, I'm asking the question because it is a question that other people are asking. The Ravens are missing 5 defensive starters. Some people think that maybe the Chiefs defense isn't all the way, or Chiefs offense isn't all the way back yet. Now, some of you on the text line are making a very good point, and I want to acknowledge it. You cannot have a conversation about how dominant the Chiefs were yesterday and not mention the fact that their defense was phenomenal yesterday. After the first drive for the Ravens, they didn't really get anything else going offensively for the remainder of the day. We'll talk more about it coming up at 5 o'clock. I think the Chiefs defense made Lamar Jackson quit the game. I think he quit. I think he threw an interception. I think he fumbled. I think he realized they weren't going to win. It was the fourth quarter, and I don't think Lamar wanted to play anymore. I think Lamar was ready to pack it in and go home. So I'm giving the Chiefs defense their credit. I am. I'm really giving the Chiefs defense their credit. I guess more than anything, and why I at least feel like we got to give the Ravens defense just a little bit of something. Someone sent this message in. I want to read it. C-Dot, chill. Andy and Spags called nearly a perfect game and exploited every weakness. Winners win, weak team or not. Just a week ago, everybody was mad about the play calling. Just a week ago. I was here. Everybody fire Andy Reid, who's calling the plays, their offensive coordinator. One game against the 31st ranked offense. They're back. The same way that I said earlier in the show, can we just get a little bit more information on Harrison Butker? That I'm not ready to make any determination on Harrison Butker. I'm not here to cut Harrison Butker. I'm not here to tell you that he's cooked. I'm not here to tell you that he's finished. I just want a little bit more data points. I do think it's fair to want a little bit more data points on Kansas City's offense after their performance on Sunday. It was great. It was magical. This started because I asked you guys out of the pie chart, out of 100%, how are you divvying it up? Chiefs offense, Ravens injuries, Ravens defense, however you want to put it. I'm at 55 to 60% Kansas City. I think the rest is on Baltimore. I don't think the Baltimore right now is equipped to get stops. I really don't think they are. I don't think they can get after the other team's quarterback. And if you look at it, and they got 1 sack on Mahomes and only 3 quarterback hits, I mean, if you're not getting pressure on Mahomes, I don't care who's playing wide receiver. He's going to cook you. And he was cooking them at almost every single turn. I do think, and this is where I give Andy and I give Matt Nagy a lot of credit. How they ran their offense was drastically different. Now, some of that was Xavier Worthy and getting him back. They were not using Brashard Smith in weeks 1, 2, and 3. And I think their offense needed that Jerick McKinnon, that Samaje Perine, that catch the ball out of the backfield kind of type. If you want my hot take, I think Brashard Smith looks like their best running back right now. Now, very limited sample size. We didn't get a chance to see a whole lot, but I gave you guys the numbers. If you go off running back touches, 23 for 78 yards. They didn't really run the ball that effectively with their running backs, but you could just kind of get a sense of it when they gave the ball to Brashard Smith. There's something there that they don't have with their other 2 backs. So if you want what I want the lasting image from this game to be, it is use Xavier Worthy more in the run game for the time being, and you got to manufacture running yards that way. And I would really try to implement Brashard Smith into their offense. They need to figure out a way to try to get him the ball somewhere between 5 to 8 times a game. I don't care if you're handing it to him. I don't care if you're throwing it to him out of the backfield. Maybe you give him the end around. His skills as a wide receiver / playmaker, they are too valuable for you not to figure out a package or figure out some things that he can do to help you on offense. That's what I want the lasting carryover for this game to be.
I am a firm believer that the Chiefs may have actually found something against the Ravens. And there are a bunch of things I can point to. But number one for me, of what I think the Chiefs may have learned about their offense to improve it, is Xavier Worthy. He was really good on Sunday. Like, I know some people on the text line, myself, are a little bit worried. Like, hey, is there going to be a little bit of a fear factor, get tackled coming back? You know, how's he going to adjust to a brace? We had Nate Taylor on the show on Friday. So he's going to play with some sort of sling or a brace. Like, and he got tackled on that first play. And then from then on, the Ravens had absolutely no answer. So I want to see more Xavier Worthy. I want to see more creative ways getting him involved in the offense. Like, that's the big thing for me with the Chiefs offense. It's not Tyquan Thornton, the run game. Just circle Xavier Worthy because he seemed to be a difference maker by himself.
Get your explosive playmakers the ball. I really think that yesterday was a glimpse into the future. I think you know what their offense should be in a month. It should be getting the ball to Rashee Rice, getting the ball to Xavier Worthy, getting the ball to Tyquan Thornton, figuring out ways to get it to Brashard Smith, using Kareem Hunt in short yardage situations, finding Travis Kelce in the middle of zones, and everybody else fit in where you fit in after that. I think we've seen enough of the Chiefs offense, even without Rashee Rice, that I can kind of tell you what everybody's role should be and what everybody is good at. Like, if you're counting on their offense is not going to be giving the ball to Isaiah Pacheco 15 to 18 times and let him get 100 yards from scrimmage. That's not what they are. What can their offense be? I think their offense can be a lot of what you saw. Underneath stuff with Rashee Rice, taking your chances down the field with Xavier Worthy and Tyquan Thornton, finding Juju in pockets, finding Hollywood Brown in pockets, utilizing your tight ends, using Travis Kelce against zone defenses, implementing your young running back. Like, I think that yesterday it was a glimpse into the future. To me, it's not solely about you dominating the Ravens. It is about what can you take that you did well and how do you implement that against teams that can actually get after you and teams that can stop you. Jacksonville is potentially one of those teams. We'll all find out. Jacksonville is one of the big question marks so far in the first month of the season. I don't know how good Jacksonville is. We're going to find out next week. Detroit is one of those teams that they got defensive linemen that can get after you. So if we're applauding Jawan Taylor for having a penalty-free game, that's great. You got Aiden Hutchinson coming in a couple of weeks. I want to see you play like that against Aiden Hutchinson. I want to see you play against Trayvon Walker, one of the best young pass rushers in the league. I just don't think the Ravens have those kind of dogs yet. So that's why I asked the question. That's why we play the audio from Sam Munson. I want to give the Chiefs their credit, but we also got to acknowledge that right now, that Ravens team, we thought maybe they were one of the top dogs in the NFL. That Ravens team looks like a team that is going to miss the postseason this year. We'll talk more about that coming up on the other side. There's a team last year that the Ravens remind me of. We'll also talk about Lamar Jackson. I'll say it again. I think the Chiefs defense made Lamar tap out yesterday. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
This is Wyatt Thompson from K-State, and you're listening to The Drive with CDOT right here on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
You've got a stall 470 westbound just past Raytown. The right lane is blocked. And then 435 eastbound before 470, 49, the exit there, the right lane blocked. And backups are building from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who's going to win the game. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. And when the Jets and Dolphins, we also got a doubleheader. We got the Broncos and the Bengals play later tonight. FanDuel is giving all customers a 50% profit boost token or 2 30% profit boost tokens. So that's right. You can get in on the action with either a 50% or 2 30s for this Monday Night Football doubleheader. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ to bet the Jets against the Dolphins and also the Bengals against the Broncos. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo?
Absolutely not. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
there's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. With rates as low as 4.5% and your home's equity at record highs, now's the time to refinance. Our cash-out customers save an average of more than $1,000 a month and even skip 2 payments. Call 913-890-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars. People don't trust car buyers. People think the price is going to be wrong, and people think it's going to be a hassle. Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is what we do at GiveMeTheVin.com, and that's what makes us America's best car buyer. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com right now and get a quote on yours.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
I'm Mitch Holtus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you'll ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600. Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Don't fumble your airport parking. Score big with Park & Go. All covered parking, fast and free shuttles, and open 24/7. For the best deals in airport parking, reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and fan approved.
Hey, it's Trent McDuffie. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Can I ask you guys a question before we move forward? I should probably wait, but it just feels important. Rob, we got an email that a wrestler wants to come on the show. His name is Powerhouse Hobbs. You know this man? I don't know who he is. He wants to come in studio.
Powerhouse Hobbs?
I don't know who he is. I'm just asking the people if this is somebody I should know and if this is somebody that we should have on the show. I guess they're doing some event, and he were like, oh, hey, we'd be happy to come in studio with you guys. I don't know. Maybe this guy's like some really important wrestler that I don't know. That's why I wanted to know. That's why I wanted to ask the people. The people normally are a good gauge of this.
He is part of the World Trio Championship?
I don't know. They just sent me an email. Said he wants to come on the show. He said he wants to be a friend of the show. So, I mean, text line, let me know. 913-586-7965. You guys don't seem very excited about it, so I don't know if I should be excited about it, but I at least feel like I can ask, because then if I told you guys after the fact, you'd be mad if I didn't take them. So I at least want to know from you.
You're on a lot weirder list than I am. I get a lot of authors. Hey, this guy wrote a book. He wants to come on the show. Okay.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
He's not coming on the show, but thanks for offering.
This came like directly from his handler. Like, hey. Like, oh, okay, all right, well.
You are the local AEW fan on the show, though.
For sure.
No one likes AEW like you like AEW.
Yes, for sure. I didn't know. I just wanted to know. All right, so I am in a good mood. You guys should be in a good mood. Anytime the Chiefs just pummel another team like they pummeled the Baltimore Ravens yesterday, it's a good day. All right, this is where I would like to start. And this is the most important thing from the game to me. It really is the most important thing. And I can say this because I don't ever try to be the sports talk host that questions effort or says, oh, I could do that. I can't. No, I don't have the ability to play in the NFL. I was listening to this podcast earlier, and they were like calling players like gutless. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like a word I would use to describe a professional athlete. There's some words that you can't call professional athletes. Quitter is one of them. I try not to use that word. I believe with every fiber of my being, I believe that the Chiefs defense got Lamar Jackson to quit. I think Lamar was not having fun. I don't think the game was going how he thought or the Ravens thought that it was going to go. It got off to a great start, and you're thinking, all right, we're here. And I think the Ravens found themselves once again in a very familiar spot of playing catch up with the Chiefs. And I think that Lamar was getting frustrated because he threw an interception, because he ran into his own center and fumbled the football. I think he was frustrated that they got stopped on a 4th down. I think he was frustrated that their defense couldn't get off the field in really any capacity. And I think Lamar just simply opted out of the experience of playing in the game yesterday. Go back, and I'm serious, really watch what happened. Lamar gets stopped on 3rd down. They are going off the field to punt. The training staff doesn't come out there. No one from the team really monitors it like it's that big of a deal, like it's a big deal that Lamar went down. He gets up on his own power, walks over to the sideline, throws his helmet down, sits down, and pouts for the rest of the day. I think he quit. I think he tapped his helmet and said, hey, coach, I can't go. Put Cooper Rush in the game. I'm sitting there and I'm laughing. Go back and listen to it. Tony Romo tried to argue that Cooper Rush coming in because a different play style was going to be a spark to their offense. It ain't no spark when your best player just quit the game. It's not a spark at all. I think the Chiefs beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens into submission. I think they put them in the crippler crossface, sharpshooter, figure four, leg lock, whatever wrestling submission move that you want to acknowledge, I think they got put into that. I don't think the Ravens knew what to do. I think the Ravens saw their season slipping away, and I think the Ravens openly quit yesterday at Arrowhead. I think the Chiefs defense did that. I think you guys did that with the crowd. Lamar looked to me like he was having zero fun out there playing football. And of all the things that should upset you, if you are a Baltimore Ravens fan, that should be at the top of the list. You at least got to go out fighting. There is no scenario, there is no situation in which I can imagine that the quarterback of the Chiefs would walk off the field in his own power, sit there on the sideline pouting for the rest of the game, not get any treatment, not go in the locker room, not get an MRI, not have a trainer come over and talk to him, and then be the first one after the game dapping up players from the Chiefs, asking to switch jerseys after the game. It was an embarrassing final 30 minutes of the day, I thought, for Lamar Jackson. I'm serious. I thought it was embarrassing what he went out there and did. Now let's talk about the Chiefs, because it wasn't just what the Ravens did, which wasn't a whole lot after the first drive. It was about the Chiefs. That was as well as they have operated and played a complete game since the first game that Taylor Swift went to, that game against the Bears. Whatever the Chiefs wanted to do, they did. When they wanted to get Xavier Worthy into the rhythm of the game, they did. Whenever they wanted to run their trick plays and the end around and the jet sweeps, they were able to do that. When they needed a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 with Kareem Hunt to move the chains, they did that. When Travis Kelce needed to get involved, when Juju Smith-Schuster with Hollywood Brown, this was the offense operating at as well-oiled of a machine that I think they can. I think the Chiefs did almost everything offensively that they wanted to do in this game. When they wanted to get the running backs involved in the passing game and kind of utilize that as a short pass game with Bashard Smith and Isaiah Pacheco, they did that. When they wanted to get back to kind of spreading it around and not really force-feeding it to one passing target, they got different players involved. I thought this was as refined of a Chiefs effort on offense and defense that we have seen in quite some time. That's the team that can win the Super Bowl. That's the team that when they get Rashee Rice healthy and they continue to have one of the 5 best defenses in the league, that is a team that you don't want to play in January and that can beat just about any team in the National Football League. It's been a while since we've seen that Chiefs team, and you're never going to play the perfect game, and we'll talk about Harrison Butker. But if you want to talk about playing a complete game on offense and defense, I thought the Chiefs did that. You got to give them an A+ on offense and Rob an A+ on defense. I don't know if it's really possible for the Chiefs to play much better on each side of the football than they did given the circumstances.
I mean, that is, if that's the Chiefs' A+ game, I think the NFL is going to need to have anyone at their A+ game to have a shot, because it was as good as I've seen them. Like, they were really good in the AFC title game against the Bills. I think they played better yesterday than they did in that game. They've been good in games before. Like, I have seen the Chiefs play. That's actually the best I've seen them play since that Steelers game on Christmas Day, where on Christmas Day, they just massacred the Steelers. They played that well yesterday against a quality opponent. But if I'm going to get my butt in there, I do think it's a caveat, and we talked about it in the 4 o'clock hour, check the podcast page. There is a slight caveat I do want to put on this because they played great. I do think we will not know until next week if that great play was built on the Chiefs figuring things out, turning a corner, coming together, and being the team we thought they were going to be, or if they were playing a team that was DOA. Because if you spent the first 10 minutes of the 5 o'clock hour telling me that their quarterback quit and that they had big, let's get to the bus energy, I do think maybe a part of the Chiefs' greatness or how well they played could be based on what the Ravens were or were not doing. So I agree with you. That's as good as I've seen the Chiefs in a long, long time. Like I said, probably since that Steeler game on Christmas Day last year. But there's a slight caveat. I don't know how much energy the Ravens had toward playing a football game when their quarterback quit in the second quarter.
And I think that that's fair. But what I would, I guess, defend Kansas City on, it is not the Chiefs' fault that the Ravens are not the team that we thought they were going to be. That has nothing to do with the Chiefs. No one feels bad for you when injuries happen in the National Football League. That's part of the game. They have been taught and trained for next man up mentality. No one had a level of sympathy for the Chiefs when they didn't have a left tackle for basically any of last year. They lost their number one receiver in late September, early October. Their running back broke their leg. No one cried. Tears of sympathy for the Chiefs. The Chiefs were told to go figure it out. And the Chiefs, it wasn't always pretty, but they figured it out. Well, I'm telling the Ravens to do the exact same thing. Go figure it out. You got a great coach, a Hall of Fame quarterback, a Hall of Fame running back. You got one of the best offenses in the league. Go figure it out. Because they look like a team that quit, and you are now 1-3. Teams that start 1-3, they have about a 13% chance of making the postseason. If you want to play this out just a little bit from the Baltimore Ravens side, and I promise you we'll get back to the Chiefs, the Ravens have a playoff game coming up on Sunday. They got a playoff game coming up. They play the Houston Texans. Houston is bad, and right now, the Ravens are bad. You lose that game, and you're done to me. The Ravens got 3 games at home. They're 1-3, and they got 3 consecutive games at home. Win these 3 games, get back over 500, get back healthy, and we're having a different conversation about you. But you got to start playing good football, because right now what we've seen the Ravens do is they gave up 41 points to Buffalo, 38 points to Detroit, 37 points to Kansas City. Everybody's taking their turns right now against the Ravens. Everybody. So next up is Houston. Houston's offense is terrible. Houston can't block anybody. Houston right now should feel like they should be able to go in there and score. The Rams should feel like they can score. They play them in 2 weeks. After their bye week, the Bears play them. Caleb Williams, he loves to eat up soft defenses. I've seen him do that time in, time out. So I hear what you're saying. The analogy I'll make for the Ravens is they look like last year's 49ers team to me. Remember last year's 49ers team? They just couldn't get right. Christian McCaffrey was never really healthy last year. Trent Williams missed a significant amount of time. That's how Jalen Moore was able to start at left tackle, how he found his way onto the Kansas City Chiefs. So they didn't have Christian McCaffrey. They didn't have Trent Williams. Debo Samuel was banged up last year. Brandon Ayuk got hurt. Remember Ricky Pearsall, the first-round pick out of Florida? He got shot and missed time last year. Like, a lot of the things that could go wrong, they went wrong last year for the San Francisco 49ers. Is that not what the Ravens feel like? Every year we talk about how, hey, this team was in first and now why can't that team be the Ravens? That team right now looks like the Ravens. Every year you write down 4 teams you think are going to be good, 6 teams you think are going to be good. A handful of those teams are going to underperform and disappoint. You write down on the flip side a handful of teams you think are going to be bad, and they end up being far better than you thought they were going to be. Jacksonville might be one of those teams. Indianapolis is one of those teams. A team that you didn't think was going to be good now looks like they're good. The Ravens look like a team that this is just a down year for them. They win 7, maybe 8 games. Maybe they get back into it late in the year, but their defense just isn't enough, and they fall and collapse. But they got to get going. And number one, you got to get pressure on the other team's quarterback. They can't do that right now at all. And you got to show an ability to get off the field. And against the Lions, they couldn't get off the field. And that's one thing against the Lions. They couldn't get off the field against Kansas City. Kansas City was scoring and moving the ball against them at will on Sunday. So the Ravens, they got a whole bunch of things they got to figure out before we start. I'm not even talking about them as a Super Bowl contending team. They don't look like a team that is going to be one of the 7 best in the AFC. They don't look like a playoff team right now to me.
I mean, they look like they are about another game and a half away from all those callers we took earlier this year saying fire John Harbaugh. Those callers might be right. If this team falls to 1-5, 1-4, maybe 2-6 type of energy, which I mean, their schedule, I don't know, they're light years better than the Texans right now. Then they face the Rams. I know the Rams are better than them right now. Like, you're telling me you quickly turn into a 1-5 team with a quarterback I saw quit in a regular game? You think at 1-5 he's gonna bow his neck and be like, "Hey, we're gonna, go out there and we're gonna come all the way back"? I don't think that is happening. So this team feels like it's, December, whatever, me and you doing the show, we hit the breaking news sounders. We're getting ready for Wild Card Weekend. Hey, John Harbaugh is out in Baltimore. If it gets bad, it could get real, real bad.
Yeah, I was also thinking this. So I guess short term to me, I would use last year's San Francisco 49ers team. But I think if you want to go maybe like more big picture to what you were talking about, What if this is the end of John Harbaugh's run in Baltimore and it ends up being very similar to Andy Reid's last year in Philadelphia? Now, I don't think that the Ravens are going to be as bad as Andy's last year. And now we know Andy had a lot of personal things that were going on that I think kind of clouded things.
Are you sure they're not going to be that bad?
I'm just saying, I mean,
exactly a pillar of health right now, and they're 1-3.
I mean, that Eagles team went 4-12. I'm down on the Ravens. I ain't 4-12 down on them. That's a bad football team. But you're right. If the Ravens go 7-9, 7-10, could you see a scenario in which they just kind of come to it? Hey, we just need a new voice. The prime of Lamar is starting to end. We've only been to one AFC championship game. We just need something new, something different. We need a new spark, a new energy to try to get things going. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that could end up being the case. The Eagles, they just needed a new voice. They ended up getting a new voice. A few years later, they go win the Super Bowl. I get all of that. Maybe that's where the Ravens are. Because in a lot of ways, it does kind of feel like, the Ravens they have hit a ceiling right now. If you can't beat Kansas City and you can't beat Buffalo, then tell me how you figure out a way of getting out of the AFC. Say what you want about the Bengals. The Bengals have at least figured out a way to be competitive against the Chiefs. Like, the Bengals have figured out a way to, hey, we can stand in the middle of the ring and we can give Kansas City a good game, a tough game. The Ravens don't do that. Lamar is 1-6 against Patrick Mahomes. 1-6. If you can't beat that guy, what are we discussing here? You can't beat him and you can't beat the other guy. So you're just going to be the third best team in the AFC during this entire run for Lamar Jackson? So I don't think it's a crazy, at least early, hey, if this year doesn't go the way that, if this year completely falls on its head, are the Ravens one of those teams that just, hey, we thank you for everything that you've done? And that'll be a very desirable job. It's a great organization. You got a great quarterback. You'll be getting a lot of talent back healthy. They draft well. There's a lot of things to like about the Ravens to think that they will just very easily bounce back. But at least right now, and with the injuries that they got, it is going to be a very long season if their defense doesn't shape up fast. All right, Rob, hit the button.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
As always, Carrington Hits are brought to you by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu.
Can I take hit number 1 today,
Absolutely.
please? Can I take hit number 1, and can I make hit number 1 the Super Bowl halftime show? Everything doesn't have to be for everybody. I have never seen a second of Yellowstone. Maybe I'll see it. Maybe I don't. I don't know if that's a show that seems like it would really appeal to me. I've never seen The Walking Dead. I've never seen Sons of Anarchy. Maybe you love these shows. They're not for me. I watched one episode of Dexter, told myself no. Some things in pop culture just are not for you, and that's okay. I think we are past the era of where everyone is going to love who they pick to do the Super Bowl halftime show. We don't all listen to music the same way anymore. We used to. We used to all listen to the music radio. We'd all watch MTV, and yes, that shaped our music. So when they told us who was going to do it, it's like, oh yeah, I've just been seeing them on MTV, so it's a natural transition for them to be on the stage. That's not how music is. Bad Bunny is the third most popular streamed artist on Spotify. Third. They asked number 1 to do it. She didn't want to do it. They asked number 2 to do it back in 2021. He's already done it. And then they went to number 3 in Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's not for me. I don't listen to Bad Bunny's music, but it's okay. You know what I will do during the Bad Bunny performance? Something else with my time. When do I care about the halftime performance? I don't care. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go get something to drink. I'm usually there with 20, 30 people anyway. I can just easily talk to them about the first half of the football game. There's plenty of things that we can do. Plenty of things. It doesn't have to be for me, and that's fine.
Number 2.
Speaking of things for you, Carrington, are you on or off the Chargers bandwagon right now? You keep flip-flopping. It's hard to keep up. So much going on.
Why do you got to do this? See, this is the thing. I expect that from them. I don't expect that from you. You're supposed to be my boy. Are we boys or not?
Speaking of the Los Angeles Chargers,
Here you go.
They did what we all see them do every year. We saw our first case in 2025. Chargering is back, baby, as the Chargers headed out east and lost on Jackson Dart's first start to the New York Football Giants. Also, more bad news for the Chargers. Joe Alt, who got hurt in the game, is expected to miss multiple weeks with a high ankle sprain. Carrington, was it the first time or the sign of things to come when it comes to the Chargers charging in 2025?
Can you turn the music down for just a little bit? This is why the rest of us don't believe in you. Every year, I hate to use this as an example, but it's the one that popped in my head. Every year, I try to tell Rob that Missouri is different. Football, basketball, it doesn't matter. Hey, this year is different. And then you know what? Missouri usually does something that will make you guys laugh and Rob say, you fell for it. Every year. The Chargers, we have been patting the Chargers on the back. Oh, man, you guys 3-0 and you won all 3 games in the AFC West. Now you're going on the road to play the Giants. Every Chargers team for the last 15 years, it didn't matter if it was Phillip Rivers, it didn't matter if it was Joan Rivers, Justin Herbert, it doesn't matter. Brandon Staley, Harbaugh, every Chargers team over the last 15 years loses that exact same game in almost the exact same way. So if you want the rest of us to believe that you're different, okay, well then win those kinds of games. Yes, it's great to get the win in Brazil against the Chiefs. It's phenomenal. You know what the Chiefs wouldn't do when they got a chance to just continue to – they wouldn't lose to the Giants in that scenario. You know what Philadelphia wouldn't do? They wouldn't lose to the Giants. They wouldn't lose. You guys do lose. So this is why people don't believe in you. It's that simple. This is why they say it. This is why they call it chargering. This is why people don't believe, because you had a chance to continue to, and now, I mean, you really opened the door for the Chiefs. Like you left. Why? Why would you leave the door open for the Chiefs? You know they're going to walk through the door. You know they're going to. And now look at you. Scored 18 points. That's embarrassing. 18 points against the Giants. All right, coming up on the other side, we'll get back to the game. We'll talk about Harrison Butker, who missed another kick yesterday. How worried are you about Harrison Butker? I'll give you my answer. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, a show that prides itself on getting it right.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
This is Danon Hughes. In Kansas City football, we honor tradition, but we always look forward to what's next. That's why I'm all in for Flight by Yuengling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp, clean, and full of flavor, just the way a light beer should be. It's got the legacy and the stats to back it up. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Danon Hughes. D.G. Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
DQ presents the sound of your next meal at DQ. It's the sound of savoring a signature stack burger, loving a chicken strip basket, or digging into everyday value with the $7 meal deal. Wait, where is the sound? Am I missing something? Oh, it's quiet because they're too busy enjoying their DQ food. Makes sense. So delicious and so peaceful. Grab your favorite from the DQ food menu today at participating U.S. locations. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Listen up, folks. I want to tell you guys about my new obsession. It's Daisy French Onion Dip. With football season here, it is the perfect dip for your chips, your wings. The delicious Daisy French Onion Dip and the Daisy Ranch Dip, they're game changers. They're delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and real spices and also ingredients that you'd find right there in your kitchen. So the next time you're having people come over to celebrate the start of the football season, you better make sure you have one thing, and I'm talking about that Daisy French Onion Dip. You can find it the next time you go to the grocery store.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
You've got a stall 470 westbound just past Raytown. The right lane is blocked. And then 435 eastbound before 470, 49, the exit there, the right lane blocked. And backups are building from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I know it's hard for some of you to remove Harrison Butker's politics from your Harrison Butker football opinions. That is not hard for me. I don't care. I don't have to agree with Harrison Butker, but it doesn't have an effect on my life. It doesn't have an effect on your life. He's allowed to feel how he feels. So none of my football commentary on Harrison Butker has anything related to do with things that he does in his free time or how he feels. I am pro giving Harrison Butker more time and not overreacting about Harrison Butker, because there's really no other option to have with Harrison Butker. There is no other option. Harrison Butker is the highest paid kicker in the National Football League. He signed a contract that guarantees him $17.75 million. Now, I know it's easy for you to say, well, we don't care about that. Sunk cost. You're also not the one that had to pay him the $17 million. So I can understand if I'm the team that paid him and I'm also the team that has seen him make a lot of big kicks, why I wouldn't overreact to the first 4 games of the NFL season, knowing there's so many games left in the year. So if you want to look at it from a money perspective, there's really nothing they can do this season. His cap hit is 5.2. His dead cap is 15.2. The Chiefs are not eating $10 million for their kicker. You know that, and I know that. So you can be as mad as you want about Harrison Butker. It's just not changing anything in the short term. They're not doing anything right now, nor should they do anything. Now, if it continues and it persists, could I see them making a change late in the season? Like if it doesn't change, Harrison Butker has missed a kick in some form in every game so far this season. Now, I don't think that's going to be the continuance for the rest of the year. I'm at least willing to see how this thing plays itself out. I'm willing to give this 2 more months. 2 more months. Let's see how October goes. Let's see how a large portion of November goes. If we're still having these talks every week about Harrison Butker and him not being reliable from 45, 50, or longer, I'm happy to come back and have this conversation. At the end of the season, from a financial standpoint, I mean, you can get rid of Harrison Butker at the end of the season if you really want to get rid of him at the end of the season, and you don't have to eat that much money at the end of the year if you feel like it's over with Harrison Butker. So I'm not saying we can never have this conversation. I'm simply saying that it doesn't make a lot of sense to me in week 4 to have this conversation. The leaves haven't changed yet. It's still 90 degrees outside. They're not eating $10 million in cap space to go find a new kicker. So what I would tell you to do is I'd pick up some kind of superstition. I don't know what you need to do during Harrison Butker kicks to help turn this mojo around. But right now, that is the only plan for the Kansas City Chiefs. It is coaching and hope that he gets himself out of it. This feels to me like a golfer who is usually a good putter that is just missing putts that they normally make. Eventually, you believe the guy's going to turn things around. We've seen him do it now for almost a decade here in Kansas City. Certainly a long time. Maybe I'm a little off, like 7, 8 years. It's a long time. So I know you're mad. I know you're frustrated. I know. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm telling you. It don't matter. He's their kicker. He is going to continue to be their kicker for quite some time. So let's just let this play itself out. Let's see how things continue to go. And that's it. That's it. I don't have anything else on Harrison Butker. I know he said things that you disagree with. That has nothing to do with his ability to make field goals. It really doesn't. It doesn't have anything. Doesn't have anything. There are far worse people playing in the National Football League than Harrison Butker. I promise you. I promise you. It does not matter to me. I don't care. I don't care. Just make the kicks. Just make them. It's all you need to do. So let's see where we're at with Harrison Butker in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Let's see where we're at. If this is still a problem, if this still persists, I'm more than happy to have this conversation with you guys. But at this point, I don't really think there's much of a conversation to be had. I'm still at the same place I was last week. I'm at a 3 to a 4, somewhere in that range with Harrison Butker and his missed field goals / extra points being a problem. Rob, where are you at?
Me and you see it the exact same. I don't think it's a problem that needs to be corrected yet. I don't think it's a situation where he needs to be cut. I don't think it's a situation where it's doom and gloom and he's broken beyond repair. I don't think any of those things. I actually think the more interesting conversation with Harrison Butker, and maybe interesting is it just to me, is are we going to look back at Brett Veach's decision to give him a contract and scratch our head and say, why? Because right now, he is not the same kicker he was when they signed him. He's just not. Now, could he turn around? Could he get fixed? Could he get back to the player he was? Yes, he's only 30 years old. Like, with kickers, there's not that, like you said earlier in the show, line of demarcation where, like, oh, he crossed 30. He's not going to kick ever again pretty well. Like, it's possible. But there are a lot of kickers in the history of the NFL where it's over in the blink of an eye. Justin Tucker, some of the text line earlier said Mike Vanderjagt. Remember that name from the Colts? That just kind of ended. Steven Gostowski, he was really bad in Tennessee. Like, there are players that you went, oh, they're a good kicker, and then it just ended. It falls off a cliff abruptly. So I think the more interesting conversation is not that he's uncuttable because of his contract, because he kind of is right now, but are we going to at some point look back with frustration at the contract he was given?
And I guess the answer to that is, I don't know yet. I wish I had a good answer for you. But I guess now I don't want to play the hindsight is 2020 game because you and I agree. There are some contracts that you and I feel that way from the very, very beginning. You and I wouldn't have paid Trey Smith. You and I wouldn't have paid Nick Bolton. I was screaming all offseason, hey, get a running back, get a running back, get a running back. I didn't have a problem with them paying Harrison Butker because it's not that big of a deal. It's a $17 million contract. It's not that much. Do you know how much money Harrison Butker counts for their salary cap?
I mean,
just take a guess. How much money do you think he counts? Right now, his cap hit, how much money do you think he costs on their cap?
15 mil, maybe?
1.8%. That's what his cap hit is.
Okay, percentage.
Yeah, percentage of the cap hit. 1.8%. Come on now. This was not a contract I was ever mad about. I'm still not mad about it. I understand why you wanted to reward Harrison Butker. He was under 30 when you signed him to the contract. I'm not going to get all up in arms about this. Let's just see how it plays itself out. He didn't miss a kick in the postseason. The postseason was earlier this year. I don't think he got washed all of a sudden in 8 months. Let's cool out for a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Do you have a date and time where
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. 6 weeks. That's what I'm saying. 6 weeks.
And I mean, but what's the solution? Because it's not like in 6 weeks he's now free to cut. Like, let's say in 6 weeks he's still kicking at a 70% clip.
Yeah, then you have to make a change. You have to make a change. I mean, if that's the case in 6 weeks, he's one of the worst kickers in the league. In 6 weeks. Like, if your kicker is making 70% of the kicks when it's warm outside, you have a problem when it gets cold outside. And I think I guess maybe to answer your point a little bit better, you then will see like the decline will be very, very obvious then if that's the case. It'll be very hard to disagree with the numbers. I mean, if you want to go back with Harrison Butker, let me pull it up here. I just had it. Here it goes. So in 2023, he made 94% of his kicks. Made 94%. Last year it was 84%. Right now it's at 76%. So can he get back to making 85, 90% of your kicks? He just doesn't have a lot of kicks right now. He just doesn't have a lot of kicks. This isn't the first time that we've been in this place. In 2022, he attempted 24 field goals. He missed 6 of them. And he still came up big in the postseason. So, like, this isn't the first time that we've seen a dip or a weird trend when it comes to Harrison Butker. This is kind of normal. This is kind of par for the course with Harrison Butker. It's just happening early on in the season that this is the case. So, 6 weeks. That's my official stance on Harrison Butker. Let's come back middle of November, week 10, and then we can have a conversation about Harrison Butker. And again, if he's making field goals at 75%, he's one of the worst kickers in the league. And then we can have a conversation of, are you worried? Is this going to cost you in the most important games of the season? We got 2 Monday Night Football games. They're actually very important for you in Kansas City. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with CDOT. Tune in as Nate Taylor of ESPN joins the show in studio every Friday at 4 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Well, summer is winding down, and maybe you noticed something. You're a little more tired than usual. Your workouts, they're just not giving you that same result. You're not sleeping well. You're foggy. Your sex drive basically gone at this point. Well, here's the truth. It might not just be stress or getting older. It could be low testosterone. And if it is, there's a positive. Heartland Men's Health can help you. They have helped hundreds of men right here in the Kansas City area feel like themselves again with increased energy, better thinking, better sleep, stronger workouts, and your sex drive, it's back. Getting tested is fast and easy. Take the 2-minute low T quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com and schedule a $99 consult, which includes lab work, a full medical review, and a plan that works for you. And you start treatment that day. And if it doesn't work, then your visit is on the house. Don't wait another year. Don't wait another month. Don't wait another day. Let's get back to you feeling like you. Pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. Heartland Men's Health. Real results, real men, real fast.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Football season in full swing. Underdog, one of the best places to get in on the action, and you can win money in Missouri. It's super easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower than stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and so much more, and get those entries right. And you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. It really is that easy. I love the different versions of games you can play over there. Ladders and streaks, pick'em contests and champions. All of those options available over at Underdog. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's country song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Well hit. Go ball. Gone! Royals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your TV home and streaming home of the Royals.
Beautiful.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Royals without blackouts.
Yes!
Or watch through a TV provider.
Right down the middle.
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, Cox, and more.
Love it.
Learn more at royals.com/tune in.
They are relentless.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Kansas City Winelson. You've got that crash in the triangle at 71 northbound past 435. Left lane is blocked. Hey, discover the latest HVAC plumbing and trade solutions with companies like Honeywell and 20 plus other vendors at the Kansas City Wind Supply Group Vendor Showcase Thursday, October 23rd, 3 to 6 at J. Riger and Company Distillery. It's complimentary food, drinks, tours, prizes, and networking.
Hey, it's Rashi Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. I'm really happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Red Monday. We got two Monday Night Football games. I don't have any interest, not a single shred of interest in Jets and Dolphins. None. I'm not watching it. I mean, I'm sure it'll be on. I ain't watching it. Nothing. Is there, Rob, anything that you're watching Jets and Dolphins for? Is there a bet that you potentially have?
No. If you're betting on Jets and Dolphins,
I just don't.
Now.
Maybe you're taking an anytime touchdown. I don't know. Maybe you're taking Devon A-Chain. Maybe it's fantasy. I don't know.
If I was
these two teams are terrible.
If I was taking an anytime touchdown, I would just check the box score. I would open my app and be like, who scored? Hopefully the guy I was betting on. But I'm not going to sit down and be like, man, I really, really, really hoped I get to watch A-Chan score. No. ESPN doesn't even have their A crew in Miami. They have
of course
Buck and Aikman out in Denver.
Why would they even be there?
I don't even know who has the call tonight.
You know what? I actually think the Bengals are a little bit better than I think they're getting respect in this game. They're 7.5-point dogs. I think we saw this, that it was a little bit of an overreaction to how they got beat by the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, they had 5 turnovers in the game. If you turn the ball over that much, you're going to get blown out. We were real quick to pat Kevin O'Connell and Minnesota on the back for how they performed. I think we were maybe a little bit too quick. I mean, we've seen Jake Browning before, and he's kind of man things. I think that's going to be a pretty decent game. So I'm interested in one of the 2 Monday night games, but that Jets and Dolphins, absolutely not. No, thank you. They're terrible. Absolutely terrible. Someone on the text line says, tonight is a catch-up on HBO shows night. Oh, those are the best kind of nights.
Are you watching Task, by the way? Oh, my God. Task on HBO is so good.
What is Task?
You got to start watching Task.
What is? I don't know what it is.
It's about this FBI task force with Mark Ruffalo, and they're trying to find this biker gang. It's really well done.
Is it like a one-off show? Is it like
It's like True Detective used to be. Yeah, it's a one-off.
Okay. What's your favorite one-off show? And True Detective doesn't count because they've had multiple seasons of it. What's your favorite HBO show that's just one season? Remember that when they did The Night Of? Is it like that?
Yeah, it's kind of like yeah.
I liked the Night Of was good.
Does Watchmen count? Watchmen on HBO.
That counts for sure.
Yeah, Watchmen's the answer.
What's that one? Love Country. What was that one? The one with the Juicy Sister.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Text line. You know what I'm talking about. 913-586-7965. It's like Love Town Country or Lovecraft or I don't know the name of that show. I never seen it, but you know the one I'm talking about.
I did not watch that one. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, HBO's good for a good one-off. I hadn't heard of this though.
Mm-hmm. That's why I plan tonight. Get home, have some dinner, watch Task.
Oh, I got you. Okay, well,
and then I'll check in on Bengals and Broncos second half.
Sure,
I'm not, but if I miss some of Jets and Dolphins, life goes
crazy. On. I don't want to watch it.
I'm trying to think of a scenario where me and you would talk about that game tomorrow.
I'm ready to already talk about the Jaguars, if you're completely honest. I'm ready to talk about college football. You know what, man? Let's talk a little college before we get out of here. We only got a couple minutes left anyway. I talked to you about Prove It. Remember we talked about like it being a Prove It week in college football. all of the quarterbacks that we thought were going to be really good this season, almost none of them are really good. Garrett Nussmeier, now I think a lot of it is just LSU can't run the football like at all. They cannot run the ball. And it's hard to beat good teams if you are one-dimensional. LSU is one-dimensional right now. So Garrett Nussmeier isn't what we thought. Arch Manning is not what we thought. Cade Klubnik, Drew Aller, like all of the quarterbacks, your guy Lenoris, DJ Lagway, all of the quarterbacks that we were talking about coming into the season being dogs, it hasn't really played itself out. The best quarterback in college football to me, I guess before all of this happened, was John Mateer. And if there was somebody that put themselves at least on the we should pay attention to them for the Heisman Trophy, it was Dante Moore, the quarterback at Oregon. I thought he was very, very good on Saturday night. To be a true sophomore, to go on the road in the whiteout and play as well as he played and lead them to a victory against Penn State, I think you got to consider Dante Moore to be one of the guys in the at least Heisman conversation. Tomorrow, Rob has assured me that we are going to have Ravens post-game and sports talk calls. So we'll do that tomorrow. We'll have a little bit of fun. Pat's going to come on Thursday. They're on Monday Night Football, so it kind of changes their week. So our week's a little bit different, but we still got you here on 96.5 The Fan. Coming up, it's Chiefs Kingdom. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.